Hello everyone. Hello everyone. We are live. Crap. I tried to do my opening and my the file can't be found. I might have accidentally deleted it. We'll see. We'll see about getting that back sometime. I'm sorry. People
Hello,
love
everyone. Hello, everyone. We are live.
um the opening
Crap. I tried to do my opening
here. And
my
but luckily
the file can't
I've
be
still
found. I might
screwed
have.
things up, or you can hear that. Let me see here. There's got to be intro. I mean, I have old ones. I can't believe I must have trashed the Santo Domingo one. I have another one. I mean, I can re-render it on and then put it out again. But I'm sorry, that's 2 weeks in a row that people are upset that there's no opening. Anyway, tonight I wanted to go over something I've been sitting on for a while, and I haven't shared it with you guys. I was waiting to make a video on it, but it's just I've been so busy with videos and stuff that it wasn't getting made. But for Christmas here, I am going to share with you something that has not been made public before. Um, and that is the long prologue. Um, and I a story on this. So originally, A Feast for Crows, A Dance with Dragons was one book. It was originally just A Dance with Dragons, and George had decided that in order to deal with the fact that, well, he had written his first books and wanted it to span more time than it did, and it didn't. The characters didn't grow up as he thought they would. Many years didn't pass, and so he kind of wanted to advance the story forward. And so he decided that he was going to do a 5 year gap. But then later he decided, well, the 5 year gap won't work because all of the stuff that's happening in Dorne, like with reaction to Oberyn's death, people wouldn't wait around for that for 5 years. So he instead was going to do a mega prologue where he followed many characters in the 5 year period, and then he would begin a 5 year gap, and then he realized that wasn't working, and the mega prologue just got broken into chapters. And so we got our Arion chapter, we got our Hota chapter, we got our Asha and Victarion and Aaron. And if you're wondering why there's so many more point of views in A Feast for Crows, it's because in the mega prologue George wasn't limiting himself to one point of view, and then when he decided the mega prologue was not working, he just brought it into the story, and we had all these point of views. Anyway, so nonetheless, he'd been writing for years at this point on A Dance with Dragons, A Feast for Crows, and so now with the mega prologue in the body, he had put off writing the prologue for A Feast for Crows. He'd split the books now, and he was having trouble with it, and he wrote several versions. Well, three. He wrote a long prologue, a short prologue, and a Rosie prologue, as in a prologue from Rosie's perspective, rather than Pate's. And then he wrote a short prologue, and he wrote the long prologue. And then eventually the long prologue is the one he kind of kept, but the published version is quite edited and quite jumbled, and there's a lot of differences. Now, I warn you, the current prologue in A Feast for Crows is just it's just so much better than the long prologue. Okay, like to be honest, like George going back and editing stuff, he makes stuff better, and in almost every sense. And you'll see the prologue in the published A Feast for Crows is just it's magical, and you can see that the prologue that I'm going to read, at least some, maybe I'll read again on a future stream, but um, we're but you'll see here, this was the original long prologue, and you'll see how interesting and weird it is. I got a copy of this from G Steph. G Steph went to the Cushing Library, He took pictures of every page of the long prologue. He provided them to me. I object recognitioned them into a text and formatted it so I have this long prologue. So, um, before ever, this is the first time this is new material you've probably never seen before, but this is the long prologue of a Feast for Crows here. And that I will read, and I'll read some pages, and then we'll go over some of the changes. I don't have time to read the entire thing now, but maybe when we get back after New Year's, I'll do a part 2 and part 3. Okay, so the long prologue, and this is all that George wrote. So the long version. This is the oldest version of the prologue still intact, the longest, and the one that was closest to completion before I decided it wasn't working. Prologue, the long one. Dragons, Maribald insisted over ale. A nightingale was trilling in the olive tree, but only Pate was listening. Sweet, he thought, as sweet as my fair Rosie. He drank the last of his ale. Gold for glass, he thought. He will give me gold for glass. The hooded man had made the dragon walk across his fingers to show he'd had the gold if Pate could get the glass. I am not a thief, he told himself, but the nightingale was trilling in the olive tree, and it almost seemed as if the little bird were singing gold for glass, gold for glass, gold for glass. Dragons. Armin the Acolyte looked down his nose at Maribald. He had the perfect nose for it, a long one that came to a sharp point. Has the ale gone to your head, lad? The last dragon died during the reign of the third Aegon. The last we know of. Like Pate, Maribald was a novice. Like Pate, he was half drunk. But unlike Pate, he was a knight's son, big and loud. There are no mammoths in King's Landing either. Does that mean there are no mammoths? It was the black of night, and the torchlit terrace of the three-legged boar was deserted, save for them. The nightingale was trilling, the honey wine was chuckling, and Maribald was making too much noise. His father had taught him to be heard across a battlefield, he always said, but Pate blamed the ale for making him so loud. Ale and Maribald had become fast friends since his father's death in the Battle of the Blackwater. Even here in Old Town, far from the fighting and safe from its five-fold walls, the war was always with them. The War of the Five Kings, the small folk called it, though Archmaester Benedict was always pointing out that there had never actually been 5 kings at once, since Renly Baratheon had been slain before Balon Greyjoy crowned himself. Maribald was still talking. When sailors off 7 different ships all tell the same tale, the tales are not the same, lad. Armin the Acolyte had forged 4 links of his maester's chain. He seemed to believe that gave him the right to call all novices lad, as if he were the archest of archmaesters. Dragons in Ashai, dragons in Karth, dragons in Marine, Dothraki dragons, dragons with 3 heads, each telling differs from the last. Only in details, Maribald argued stubbornly. All speak of dragons and a beautiful young queen. Gold for glass, thought Pate, but I am not a thief. The three-legged boar brewed a fearsome strong ale, and he had drunk too much of it, or more like not enough. If he was not a thief, what was he? A novice of the Citadel, or some bloody fool? He wished his friends would shut their mouths and let him think. It had been a mistake to visit the boar tonight. Gold for glass, trilled the nightingale. Gold for glass. Pate had spent all day amongst the ravens, and the sweet song was a welcome respite from their harsh screams. The white ravens knew his name, and would mutter, Pate, 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 at him. They were Walgrave's pride, and knew it. The old man meant for them to eat him when he died, and Pate oft felt as if they wanted to eat him too. He gazed into his tankard, wondering how he might fill it up again. Another quart of the fearsomely strong ale might give him the courage he lacked. Or else lazy Leo will despoil Rosie. I should like to ride a dragon, declared Rune. He was the youngest of the 5 champions, a chunky orphan 2 years shy of manhood. His village had been burned down during the fighting in the Riverlands, and all his kin had been put to the sword. I should like that very much. And I should like to go to sleep with Rosie's arms about me, Pate thought. But that won't happen either. The first quart of the 3-legged boar's fearsomely strong ale always made him jolly. The second left him convinced he could conquer all the 7 kingdoms. But after 3, the gloom set in, and he drunk 6. Or was it 7? Laros was paying, and Pate had not kept count. Our silver-handed sphinx with his fat purse. Alaris had gone down into the Ring of Wisdom to face Archmaester Periston and won the right to forge his copper. His 3rd link, all within a year. Pate had been at the Citadel 4 years and had no links. One night, after his 2nd tankard, he boasted that he would not always be a novice. Too true, Lazy Leo had mocked. One day you'll be a former novice, herding swine. The jibe had stung, and Rosie's little laugh only made it hurt the more. Twice he had believed himself ready. The first time he had gone before Archmaester Valen to demonstrate his knowledge of the stars. Instead he learned why Vinegar Valen had earned that name. It took him 2 years to find the courage to try again. This time he submitted himself to Archmaester Ebros with his soft voice and the gentle hands. But Pate displayed even less mastery of the healing arts than of the heavens, and Ebros' disappointment cut even deeper than Valen's barbs. 4 years and still a pink neck. Other men had forged their whole chain in less time. Link to last. First link to last. Better men. Pate could hear Emma's laughter drifting through one of the shuttered windows above, mingled with the deeper voice of the man she was entertaining. Emma was the oldest of the serving wenches, 40 if she was a day, but still pretty, with as nice a pair of teats as any man could want. Armin said that she would take your staff in her mouth for a copper star, but Pate had never taken any of the serving wenches up the stairs. Horace could give a man the pox. The wenches at the Boar were cleaner than the dockside whores, to be sure. They asked 5 times as much, which kept away the sailors and all the queer diseases. Still, Pate did not care to take the risk. The pox could turn a man's cock black and make it fall right off, his mother used to say. At the Citadel, he'd learned that wasn't true, but it could still kill you dead or drive you mad. It had killed a crown prince once, Archmaester Periston had said during his lecture on the reign of King Makar. Pate was saving all his coin for Emma's daughter. Rosie had never gone with a man, so he knew that she was clean. He loved her hazel eyes and budding breasts, and the way she smiled when bringing him his ale. He would have gladly taken her up the stairs, but Emma had decreed that Rosie's maidenhead would cost a golden dragon. Pate had saved 9 silver stags and a pot of copper stars and pennies, but you cannot know there are no dragons, Armin. Maribald slammed his fist on the table. You cannot know there are no dragons, Armin. Maribald slammed his fist on the table so hard it made the tankards jump. Pate saw the nightingales flit away. For a moment he felt so sad that he thought he might weep. The honey wine was thick with mist this morning, the Boar a little island of light. Beyond the torches, the distant beacon of the high tower floated in the damp night like a haze orange moon. It made him think of Lazy Leo, who would soon steal Rosie's innocence, and probably leave her with the pox as well. If there was ever a man like to have the pox, it had to be Lazy Leo. Stories told by sailors, Armin said. Sailors, Maribald. Go down to the docks and you'll find sailors who will say that they've slept with mermaids, and others who have spent a year in the belly of a leviathan, or saw the sun sink into the sea and make it boil. Even a novice should know that there has never been such a thing as a 3-headed dragon. Alaris seemed amused by that. He often seemed amused. As if he knew some secret his friends were all too thick to see. The rest of them drank ale, but the Sphinx preferred the strange sweet wines of the summer isle. Summer Isles. There are no living sphinxes either, he announced in his soft Dornish drawl. Yet here I sit. Is that a riddle? Asked Armin, frowning. Sphinxes were supposed to speak in riddles, when they spoke at all. It had been lazy Leo who had given Aleras that name. A sphinx is a bit of this, a bit of that, a human face, the body of a lion, the wings of a hawk. No such beast had walked the earth since the doom engulfed Valyria. Two green marble sphinxes flanked the entrance to the citadel, watching all who passed with the eyes of onyx. Aleras had onyx eyes as well, and the stillness that reminded Pate of a cat waiting for his prey. He too was a bit of this and a bit of that. His father had been a Dornishman, his mother a woman of the Summer Isles, with skin as black as ink. His own skin was more like teak, but still darker than any proper Dornishman's. A mongrel skin, thought Pate, whose face was pale and paste and prone to burn and peel. Yet it seemed a comely color beneath that cap of close cropped black curls and the widow's peak that made Aleras look so wicked. The serving wenches doted on his dimpled chin, smooth cheeks, and wry half smile. All right, let's go over a few things here. Some you may have caught, some maybe you didn't. So obviously, like, Melander was originally called Maribald, and obviously George was thinking that Maribald was a clumsy sounding name here and wasn't flowing, and goes with something like Melander. But strangely enough, like, he later likes the name Maribald and uses it for the Wandering Septon with Brienne. But there's definitely some sentences where you just it just sounds clumsy because of the name Maribald. I have to point out this line here. This one didn't make it in the final, but I think I like the line, but I do admit that it sounds clumsy off the tongue. Ale and Maribald had become fast friends since his father's death in the Battle of the Blackwater. George uses the term fast friends a lot. I mean, he has a story called Fast Friends too. I mean, but to say that Ale and a person had become fast friends is kind of, it's a clever thing. But it's clunky here, right? Ale and Maribald had become fast friends. It just doesn't sound right since his father's death in the Battle of the Blackwater. Obviously the Quill and Tankard's ale, it's ale here instead of cider. He decides to change it into fearsomely strong cider, which does flow off the tongue more than fearsomely strong ale. Fearsomely strong cider, right? Like fearsomely strong cider, fearsomely strong cider, fearsomely strong ale. Their bar is called the Three-Legged Boar instead of the Quill and Tankard. Quill and Tankard, let's be honest, that's just a better name for a bar, the Quill and Tankard. I think a big thing is, of course, this nightingale trilling in the olive tree, that he decided to have, saying gold for glass, gold for glass, gold for glass. Now, I think obviously he's trying to do some sort of parallel to Mormont's Raven and things like that, a parallel to the Talking Ravens, and he goes with this nightingale, gold for glass, gold for glass. But later he talks about Pate being with ravens anyway, so I think in the end he's just like, why am I having this extra talking bird when I have ravens who are actually even talking? So why all these talking birds? Because the ravens are already yelling Pate, Pate, Pate. Why would he have this extra nightingale thing? So he got rid of that. And obviously, like, gold for glass, he's changed to gold for iron. And the reason this is gold for glass is because the original exchange is a gold dragon for a glass candle. And George steps that back and goes for the coin. Goes for the key, which presumably would get to a glass candle. But because at the end of the story, we actually find Jaqen Agar near the glass candle. Like it's very clear that his target is the glass candle. But here he wants you know he wants iron, gold for iron, gold for iron. And then you get gold for iron is more about transmutation, right? That fits more than gold for glass. Like alchemists weren't known for transmuting glass into metal. It's metals into different metals, right? Um, there's some definitely things that like don't work that well. So like you can see Pate is conflicted about whether he should be a thief and the gold for glass. And so he's hearing the nightingale trilling and saying gold for glass, and he thinks sweet, not as sweet as my fair Rosie. In the printed version, it's the entire opening has more action. They're not just sitting around. They're shooting archery, and there's more action going on. Now the characters get to be doing stuff rather. He can say, "Oh, Eleros picks up her bow or pulls things, throw the apple, things like that." There's action going on at the same time as the conversation. So I think he cores it. He takes his arrow and he knocks out the core of the apple. This amazing sight. You cored the apple, and he goes, sweet. And that really works better than listening to a nightingale say something that he's conflicted about. Like that just doesn't, you can kind of like look through this and be like, wow, everything is an improvement. Like George absolutely is, it's not what he has is bad, but the printed version is just so much better. Anyway, we got a lot of different things here. You can see that Maribald or Melander, he originally was just a big guy, and George makes him crippled in order to kind of explain why he's at the Citadel. Because now it seems that his father was this warrior, and he would have wanted to raise a warrior son. Like, why would his warrior son be at the Citadel? Oh, well, now it makes sense. Like adding in his being crippled. Originally, George didn't have that. And you can see this is all jumbled from different places. But there's some interesting things in here. Like it's funny how many like just little things he's made more poetic. So for instance, I think later on they say Armin has 4 links. And it's like later George says he actually names the metals. He says like, oh, he's got, whatever, iron and gold, iron and silver. I forget the metals, but little things like Rune saying I should like to ride a dragon. I think he says in the printed I'd like to see a dragon. But it kind of comes out of nowhere. You can see that a lot of the conversation is clunky and doesn't flow into it like George makes it in the end. And then you can see Pate is weirdly obsessed with catching diseases, and his desire for Rosie is more about him. Not that he doesn't like Rosie, but he wants to be with Rosie because she's a virgin and he can't get sexually transmitted diseases from her. That's been completely removed, and now it's just that Pate has a more pure motivation that he wants to be with this innocent girl, but he doesn't think about the sexually transmitted diseases. Very, very, very interesting. I'm trying to think if anything else really sticks out. Let's see here. All right. How long have I been doing this? Well, I'll go on. I'll read another few pages here, and then no riddle, declared the Sphinx, just simple sense. No dragon had ever had 3 heads. This wonder in the east must be of House Targaryen. Maribald frowned drunkenly. Big as he was, he had no head for ale. The Targaryens are dead. The Beggar King is dead, said the Sphinx. But he had a sister born on Dragonstone after their father's murder. There's your Dragon Queen, Daenerys Stormborn, she was called. Pate knew that the Mad King once had a daughter, but he thought he'd heard that her head was smashed against a wall. There was no profit in arguing with the Sphinx, though. He has 3 links, and I have none. Aleros, he said, my tankard's dry. Shall we give a call for Rosie and have another round? Rosie has gone to sleep, said Aleros, and we should do the same. Dawn is nigh, and we have duties on the morrow. Duties. Pate's duties involved caring for Archmaester Walgrave, who had forgotten more Ravencraft than most maesters ever knew. A great man once, only now his robes concealed soiled small clothes off his knot. And half a year ago, some acolytes found him weeping in the library, unable to find his way back to his chambers. Pate had counted himself lucky when Walgrave took him on to help with the Ravens. He did that, but he fetched the old man's meals as well, swept out his chambers, dressed him every morning, bathed him once a fortnight. He got no wages, but a man could eat well on an Archmaester's leavings. Pate had hoped for more, but Walgrave could not give him his black iron. The old man was an Archmaester only by courtesy. Maester Gorman sat below the iron mask in his stead, and Gorman had once dragged Pate before the Seneschal, accusing him of theft. I could drink another ale as well, Maribald was saying to the Sphinx. 1 more, for the walk back home. 1 or 2 or 10, have as many as you like, Aleros told the knight's son. Just don't look to me to pay for them. Bah! A lord's son should be open-handed. The Sphinx's laugh was music. My hands are open, but my purse is closed, and I am no lord's son, I've told you. Maribald is seeing dancing dragons, said Ormond the acolyte. I fear the lad's had enough ale for one night. He has, a voice behind them said, but I haven't. Mother have mercy, but I am almost sober. Lazy Leo was slouching beneath the olive tree, ash-blonde hair falling down across his eyes. Most novices wore rough-spun robes and undyed wool. Leo wore satin striped in green and white and black silk half-cape, pinned at the shoulder by a rose of jade and gold. The wine he'd dribbled down his front had been a robust red, however, judging from the color of the spots. Run and fetch a serving wench, Pate, he commanded. Aleros, you may have the honor of giving her some coin. We were just leaving, said Pate. Were you? Leo smiled. Pig boys should not lie with their betters. It is discourteous, and like to get them whipped. I am no pig boy. Spotted Pate, the pig boy, was the hero of 1,000 ribald songs and stories, a good-hearted, empty-headed lout who somehow always managed to beat the fat lordlings, haughty knights, and pompous sections who beset them. In the stories, his stupidity would turn out to be a sort of uncouth cunning. Usually the tales ended with the spotted Pate sitting on a lord's high seat or betting some knight's daughter. But the Pates of the real world never fared so well. Pate sometimes thought his mother must have hated him to have given him that name. Lazy Leo took a seat beside him. Pity a poor novice. I have a raging thirst, and I heard the Dornishman was buying. He was, drawled Aleros, but only for his friends. Buy your own ale. Your silver is as good as mine. Better, said Leo, but I've lost mine. The tiles turned up against me down at the Checkered Hazard, and of course I had to dine. Suckling pig and plum sauce, stuffed with chestnuts and white truffles. And what did you lads have? When no one answered him, he shrugged. I'm certain it was filling. You see my sad dilemma, Sphinx, so order me a cup of arbor gold. Best not, my lord, Ormond cautioned Leo. Morn will be here soon. Archmaester Ebros will be speaking on the properties of urine. You do not wish to be late. Pariston says the world is 100 years old. Is 100,000 years old. If I'm an hour late for the piss tasting, what is that but the flicker of an eye? Lazy Leo gave a lazy shrug. All your shouting woke poor Rosie up, you know. A pretty thing, though I wonder if any maiden's flower can be worth a golden dragon. Will hers be sweeter than the next whore's? One day I must find out. He pushed his hair out of his eyes. What was I saying? Oh yes, dragons. Sir Hopfrog has the right of it this once. The mage had been prowling the docks, visiting every ship come in from the east, asking queer questions in queer tongues. He says 3 dragons have hatched in Karth by the Jade Sea. 3, said Rune, astonished. Leo patted his head. More than 2 and less than 4. Would not try my golden link just yet if I were you. If I hit him in the mouth with my tankard, I could knock out half his teeth, thought Pate. But if he did, Leo would have him rotting in a dungeon underneath the high tower. The rectors who had kept order at the citadel were blind and deaf to Leo's wastrel ways, and even the cobblestone guard turned their backs when he ventured out into the city to wreak havoc. Lazy Leo was more than just another novice. He was the cherished younger son of Sir Morin Tyrell, commander of the city watch of Old Town, and his cousin Mace was Lord of Highgarden, father to the widowed queen and liege lord to the aged Leighton Hightower, who numbered protector of the citadel and shield of the city amongst his lengthy string of titles. Leo was even kin to Maester Gorman, which might account for why Gorman had no use for Pate. This is no jape. Armin the Acolyte did not dare look down his nose at Tyrell. 3 dragons, are you certain? Not me, said lazy Leo. The mage. Targaryen dragon, said Aleros. I'd love to see the face of Tywin Lannister when he hears. I expect our hand has heard already, said Leo, yawning. King's Landing is a port as well. Their harbor is still clogged with burned and broken wrecks from the Battle of the Blackwater, Laris pointed out. Most trade has shifted north to Duskendale and Gulltown. No matter, Varys has whisperers everywhere. Lannister will know. I'd say our pig boy has a better chance of rising to Grand Maester than this Dragon Queen does of living out the year. The Acolyte still nursed doubts. Marwyn is unsound. I have heard Archmaester Parison say so mine own 2 ears. Leo shrugged. The whole menagerie hates the Mastiff. What of it? That does not make him wrong. The menagerie was what Leo called the Archmaesters, to the delight of the younger novices. Pate had heard him go through them all one night, likening each man to some bird or beast. His insolence shocked Pate to the bone, but he could not deny that Marwyn looked more like a mastiff than a maester. He looks as you as he'd like to bite you, Leo had said, and even Pate had laughed. It was true. Even the search for truth can be taken too far. Archmaester Molos had been heard to remark that Marwyn returned to Old Town after 8 years in the East. 8 years he'd spent mapping distant lands, searching for lost books, and studying the secrets of warlocks and shadowbinders. Marwyn the Mage, Archmaester Rhyme had named him, mocking. The name spread all over Old Town, to Rhyme's vast annoyance. So there, by the way, the menagerie thing, because the menagerie hates the Mastiff line stayed, but the idea that each of the Archmaesters looks like a different animal was lost, was not passed on. So, I guess if you want to know what he means when he says the menagerie hates the Mastiff, this is the reason that there was this ongoing joke that Lazy Leo was likened each Archmaester to an animal, and that was taken out, which was kind of funny. I'm trying to remember here. There's something weird here with. I'm kind of understanding why Leo comes in, and they've already been talking about Daenerys and dragons. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, there's dragons. And they're all like, what are you talking about? This has changed to a glass candle burning, which makes more sense now. because now Leo comes in with news of dragons, and they've already been talking about dragons, and they're all like, "What?" And Marwyn says there's dragons. What? What? Like, um. So yeah, but you can see it's just these little changes, the little and oh, Leo is you can see little things. Cobblestone Guard was the old name for they just call it now the Old Town City Watch, but it used to be Cobblestone Guard. And but you can see that like he was more Lazy Leo was more violent in this original version. You can see that they're blind to him venturing out into the city and wreaking havoc. So Lazy Leo has been customarily just been going out in the city and causing fights. Um, and the in the original Rosie prologue, um, we don't have an ending to it, but at the end, George writes blah blah blah, and then Lazy Leo like rapes and murders Rosie or murders Rosie, and you're like, oh god, like, like as much as a dick as Leo is, you don't really get the idea that he's a murderer, but apparently he was a psychotic murderer who's going out like just causing like fights and just murdering people for fun, and that was Lazy Leo, and that was dialed back quite a bit, you know. So you hear about these other places, the Checkered Hazard, where Leo was playing tiles and things like that. Um, but yeah, that's the. But yeah, it's interesting. And by the way, it gets more, but it gets more interesting than this. The end. So in a future date, I will continue on and read the rest of this. But there's some craziness after this um, because Pate, rather than stealing a key, actually steals a glass candle, and it's a very different story when he meets Jock and Agar. Okay, so that's that. We'll get back to that, but that is um, the first part of the prologue, and yeah, let's get into it. Um, yeah, a lot of sorries about my friend PJ today. Um, um, anyway, yeah. Growing up, I only had a handful of friends in high school. Um, five or six guys. One of them was PJ. Today he became an actor. I've talked about him before, but yeah, today I found out that, as many of you did in the news, that he passed away. He took his own life, and so it's kind of weird, kind of a weird day. I mean, I hadn't talked to PJ in about 10 years, but um, he was a good guy. He was very kind. He was a very kind man. He once once when he was living in New York, he once like some woman was getting sexually assaulted, attempted raped, and he like ran out with a pipe and like and like stopped it. I mean, he would just fucking do stuff like that, you know. So he was a really good guy, and it's really sad that he's gone, and weird for me, you know. So um, government job career, or more stress pay private job career. You know, um, one of the reasons I went into government is I kind of didn't want to just be having some job where I'm making other people money. I didn't really see like the need in increasing consumption, and so like I I purposely got a government job because I wanted to like help people and make a difference and things like that. And one of the nice things is that government jobs tend to not have long hours. You tend to work your 40-hour week, and compared to Europe, it's not great, but it's when I say like um, we get after 15 years of working for the government, I get 28 leave days. You start with 15 leave days, and then after 3 years, you get 21 leave days, and then you get 28 leave days a year. Um, uh, when you get to 15 years, like that's really good in America, and we get things like 3 months maternity paternity. This is unheard of in other places. And but the last year it's just I mean government, and it was really hard to get fired, and now but this last year it's been chaos in the public sector, and it's really sad. People just getting fired for no reason at all, just entire divisions getting shut down. Uh, and even though the law says that firings are against the law, firings happened, and so this year has been very, very stressful for federal employees, and no one's really happy with what work is being done because nothing good is really being done. So it's at any other time I would say, yeah, no, being a public servant was great, but this last year it's been a nightmare. I mean, I went back to work last week, and it's just you talk to people and they're just very depressed, watching the clock, hoping things change in a year. It's pretty atrocious. So I'd say right now, at least in America, don't get a government job. If you government job anywhere else, go for it. But right now, no, I wouldn't get a government job now. At any other time, I would have been like, oh, government work is great. You're doing something cool, and not getting pushed to the limit and of stress, and you get some vacation time, but no, not so much anymore. um Hey Preston, could Thomas Sevens be the last Lord Tarbeck? Well, I mean that's a little weird. I mean, one of the I mean, he's kind of based on what Alan in Robin Hood. Um, let me get his name. I don't want to screw up the guy's name. He's based on Alan-a-Dale from Robin Hood, and Alan-a-Dale, is just this traveling minstrel. He's nobody. He's nobody special. He's no secret lord or anything like that. Um, I mean, I've never heard anything. I mean, is this some sort of theory that I've never heard that Tom O'Sevens would be a Tarbeck, and why Tarbeck specifically? Um, is because he like sings. Oh, he sings the Rains of Castamere. Um, and that's about it. Um, I mean, I think besides the fact that he's like just sings about it, that's not much evidence. I mean, aren't all of these singers singing something like the Rains of Castamere? I think that's just kind of introduced as that we can learn about um, Tywin and the things he did. But as a character, he's based on Alan-a-Dale, and he certainly acts rather lowborn. Thomas Evans. I wouldn't expect him being some sort of last lord. Also, when did House Tarbeck go extinct? Uh, like the Reigns of Castamere. That happens in 261. So, I mean, what are you thinking, that he's like a baby and that he's like 39 or 40 or something is the idea? Um, and he was like spirited away as a baby, and then um let's see, they say he looks around 50, so he could be like 10 years old or something. He was a child. um I mean, you know, could it technically be possible? I suppose, but I don't think there's anything really pushing that. I mean, I guess he hates Lannisters, but doesn't doesn't everyone in the Riverlands hate both the Lannisters? And they kind of hate the wolves too. But uh, I mean, is it possible? It's possible, but I don't think there's much pointing to it, considering that like Alan Adale doesn't have any sort of like secret backstory like that, and there's nothing really. Um, I mean, I suppose if you're 10 and you're raised, you know, in secret amongst small folk, you're going to act like small folk. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's that's. I don't think there's much there, but um, are we going to see Theon's child with the captain's daughter in the fanfic? It's kind of undecided. I think it'd be interesting to bring the child back again. I mean, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, is that Theon at the beginning of the Clash of Kings has has sex with the captain's daughter of the Miraham. Miraham is the name of the ship, and then we kind of hear about the Miraham appearing later in A Storm of Swords as he brings news of the Iron Islands to Rob. And so the Miraham showing up like more than once, and it being like returning, you kind of wonder, well, what happened to that? What happened to the captain's daughter? And there is a random and he did say that his route was going to be Old Town um, in A Storm of Swords. Let me bring it up real quick. He like tells this whole route. He says he's a merchander out of Old Town. So if he he would go back to his home of Old Town at some point. So in the fanfic, we had the Miraham go home to Old Town, and it be the ship that brought Maester John to the crag in the prologue of the fanfic, as a fun little thing. And then because Theon made this comment, like, I'm probably gotten you pregnant with my bastard. She now has Theon's bastard, and you can hear the baby like screaming in there. So I mean, we'll see if he comes back again. I don't have any specific plans for Theon's bastard. Just right now, it was just a fun little Easter egg that Theon makes this comment about maybe that the captain's daughter would have his bastard, and then let it go. He does it. Um, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll run into the Miraham again. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's true that he could go back to Old Town. We don't know what happens to the Miraham after taking Maester John up to the crag. So maybe he could go back and have it happen again. higher population density, more selfish people. I don't I don't think there's much evidence for that. What we kind of know about, I mean, there's a few things to think about, like high population density, and then urbanization. And I want to stress that these might be two different things, you know. But when you think of the places that have the highest population density, you're talking like India, Japan, Bangladesh, Sichuan, China, Shanghai. I mean, it's not. I don't. You don't think of these people as being selfish. I don't think of Indians being selfish, like as a people, and they have extremely high population density. Um, and meanwhile, you know, suburbs are with very selfish people, don't have very much population density. Um, I mean, is this idea about something to do with like urban people versus rural people, and rural people being like all, like welcoming or something? But I don't. What I can say is that usually urbanization like usually causes people to be a little more liberal, because when you're in a close knit, diverse area like an urban center, you meet different types of people, and then you become used to them. A climate, a culture. Well, if you're in the middle of a rural area and you never see minorities, you can believe whatever sort of weird stories you have about them because you never run into them. So I'm generally speaking, I find urban people tend to be more liberal than rural people, but selfishness, I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any correlation there. I mean, like I say, some of the highest, like densely populated areas, um, have very poor people who are. It's also, how do we measure selfishness? Like that's a really tough one to measure too, because there's also like somebody that's poor might be selfish, but they've never had the chance to be giving, or they've never had the like they just. So I would never make any sort of like judgment about that. Um, hmm. Hold on a second. Carmine's saying that my audio is a little distorted right now, so I'm going to. Hey, Carmine, can you call in for just a second if you're there? So make sure my audio. See, it's like I need some feedback on. Okay. Fuck, I'm in the shower. No, it's back. It sounds different mic, but not that bad. Let me see. Let me see what mic I'm on right now. Oh, yeah. Weird. Okay. I think that probably fixed it. Yeah. Um, that's funny. It's just. Is there any significance to Sir Tristramum and the Sea Watch? Is this some guy at a sea guard or what? What is this? Oh. Tristram was a knight who commanded the Sea Watch during the reign of King Ares Targaryen II. Smugglers were executed. What? What is... What? This is like something that completely slipped my mind. Tristram and the Sea Watch. Fucking A. No one talks about justice for Tristram. Tristram. Um... This is what's very fun. Okay, here's where this comes from. Fucking Tristram. This is such a random question because no one fucking talks about this, man. Dragonstone loomed larger with every stroke of the oars. Davos could see the shape of the mountain now, and on the side, the great black citadel with its gargoyles and dragon towers. The bronze figurehead of the bow of Shayila's dance set up wings of salt spray as it cut into the waves. He leaned his weight against the rails, grateful for its support. His ordeal had weakened him. If he stood too long, his legs shook, and sometimes he fell prey to uncontrollable fits of coughing and bouts of gobs of coughing and brought up gobs of bloody phlegm. It was nothing, he told himself. Surely the gods did not bring me safe through fire and sea, only to kill me with a flux. That's funny if that's how, Davos dies. As he listened to the pounding of the oarman's drum, the thrum of the sail, and the rhythmic swish and creak of the oars, he thought back to his younger days, when these same sounds woke dread in the heart of many misty woke dread in his heart on many a misty morn. They heralded the approach of old Tristamon's Sea Watch, and the Sea Watch was death to smugglers when Aerys Targaryen sat the throne. But that was another lifetime, he thought. That was before the Onion Ship, before Storm's End, and before Stannis shortened my fingers. That was before the War of the Red Comet. Before I was Seaworth or a knight. I was a different man in those days. Before Lord Stannis raised me high. Huh. That's interesting. Okay, so I think what's the significance of Sir Tristram? Sir Tristram, is just a representation of the law and like serving the king, right? So this is like apparently under Sir Aerys, under King Aerys, there was a Sea Watch, which was like a royal navy who kept smugglers out of the waters, in at least in Blackwater Bay. And now there's none. However, Davos is now essentially that man. Like he is the one who is, in charge of Davos's fleet, and keep in mind that Stannis has at this point of the story, Stannis has a pretty nice fleet compared to like everybody else, right? Because he has the narrow sea. I guess this is after Blackwater. Maybe I should. Maybe I'll take that back. I'm sorry. I was confused for a moment, but still, I think that he's saying that like I am, that he is now serving the king and of the king and on the right side of the law versus being a smuggler. Because back then it was Sir Tristram who was in his place. That's I think that's about it. But it's interesting that we've never hear about the Sea Watch ever again, do we? Is there never hear about the Sir Tristram's Sea Watch? That's it. It's the only reference. So I don't think there's much to it. It's quite interesting. I think it's something now I'm like, I gotta bring the fucking Sea Watch into the fanfic. The fucking Sea Watch. Aerys' Sea Watch. but that the only I think the only significance is to illustrate that Davos was on one side of the law and now he has swapped places with Sir Tristan. That's it. And that he is now on the king's side. That's all. But yeah. Yeah, thank you for thinking of PJ. Realistically, Dream of Spring will never be 99.9%. I mean, I don't think the Winds of Winter will be 99.9%. Is that where we're going? The dream, a Dream of Spring when we say DOS, or so the keep in mind that DOS means a lot of different things in my mind. That acronym has some meaning, but the there's a lot of it. Even thing. I mean, but yeah. I mean, I don't think there's much hope. 6-7, 6-7. Yes, Melander was Maribald. Could the second Tyrion sample chapter be a replacement for the first rather than a continuation? Explains why it goes over the same info. I mean, that's an interesting idea. The trying to think if there's like super relevant. Like a lot of people point out that yes, Tyrion 1 as a concept could be deleted and you could go straight to Tyrion 2. Tyrion 1 is not needed at all. But then again, there are some pretty, clever ideas in Tyrion 1 where they're, listening to the Six Sisters and playing like Syvass and such. And but I mean, you are right that Tyrion 1 isn't really necessary and you can go straight to Tyrion 2. You can. But that's all of that is true. I mean, all of that's true. However, when released as sample chapters, it was released and marketed as Tyrion 2. Not that George doesn't edit stuff and move stuff around. But that makes me think that no, like if he has Tyrion 1, he's going to keep Tyrion 1. But I would say that the other big thing about it is George has a lot of useless Tyrion chapters. Like he loves fucking useless Tyrion chapters. I mean, when you go through the A Dance with Dragons, I mean, you could probably jump right into Tyrion 2 rather than having Tyrion 1. You can delete Tyrion 3 almost completely. There's a lot of those chapters, where you could have just jumped. You didn't need to have them. You didn't need that chapter of them floating in the middle of Slaver's Bay. Like you could have just jumped to them being sold on the Slaver's platform. I mean, all of Tyrion 7, which, like I say, is my least favorite chapter in all of Ice and Fire. It's just not necessary. Like so much of Tyrion can be cut. And so it's like, when you say like, okay, could it be a replacement for the first rather than a continuation? Sure. In fact, and I will even agree with you that it makes a better replacement. Like you don't need Tyrion 1. Just get on with it and go straight to Tyrion 2. I'm with you. But what sounds like George? Like, is George the type to do that? I mean, he does delete chapters. He does. But imagine you spent a lot of like blood, sweat, and tears making really quippy Tyrion dialogue, which takes him forever. Like, why would he cut that? When he loves Tyrion so much and he loves like Tyrion dialogue and all of that. So I don't know. I mean, I have no evidence for it. I mean, I agree with you that jumping right to Tyrion 2 and cutting Tyrion 1 completely, it would be a great move, regardless of the quality of Tyrion 1. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. More likely that George would like. One thing also that George does is, yeah, he'll cut stuff, but he'll bring that material back later. Like, he grinds it up, and everything later goes into the sausage. Whether even if it's years later. So, Preston's dream retirement setup scenario. I don't know. It's a hard question. I've talked through this with a lot of different people about their dream retirement and such and stuff, things like that. Like, I know people that want to retire like Portugal, because Portugal currently has a pretty easy visa system to get in, for Americans, you know, or Central America or something like that. But I know that there's people's dream scenarios, and I hear about people's dream scenarios, and almost every time that isn't what happens. Like, and the things that trip people up is, one, like, you want to retire, but at the same time, you don't really want to be away from your family, and it just gets hard and exhausting. So, like, they have these dreams. Oh, we can retire, and we'll retire to Paris. And it's like, they could have, but then they never do. The other thing is, you want to be near hospitals that can treat you when you're old. And America, its medical system, with all of its flaws, and there's many flaws, American hospitals are really fucking good for keeping old people alive. And so a lot of people don't want to leave the really good American hospitals where they're with their doctors and things like that. Yeah. And another thing is just, I find a lot of people have a tough time, like, shedding their house, shedding their shit, stuff like that, or they just get tired. So, I mean, look, my retirement setup, like, I would love to, like, have a retirement where, I'm still just, I get to travel the world with my wife and see things, but then, realistically, like, well, will we both be healthy? Will we have the energy to do all that? But yeah, I mean, I would love to live in Sevilla. Like, if you were talking like my dream, be like Sevilla. I would love to just like live in Sevilla. Like, that would be great. Like, that's what I'd want. Like, that sounds fantastic. But who knows if that would happen. So. Oh, Elio interview when? Please prepare questions. Oh, we already had the Elio interview. Carmine and I sat down and talked to Elio for a couple hours. It happened. Carmine's busy editing it, and it'll probably be on our Patreons for a while and things like that. But we had a good discussion that went on for a long time. Like, I think it was like 2 hours. Like, at least it might even be more than 2 hours. Hello. How long was the discussion?
You motherfuckers, bro. Both of you. I swear to God, dude. You finish what you were saying to this guy here.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, like, the Elio stuff, like, I mean, I don't know if Carmine's told me that he would have it for Patreon before Christmas, with some sample clips and stuff like that. But right? Is that what you told me? Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking try, dude. So,
okay.
These.
But
do you mind if I go into this briefly?
If he doesn't, it might be in the new year. Because I'm going on vacation starting Christmas. So.
You on vacation is another thing. Do you mind if I go into this briefly, like,
sure.
to hype it up a little? So, first and foremost, I feel like millennials, my generation, is in the sweet spot for technology because every Gen Xer, Elio and Preston, and every Gen Z, Trey, every time I record with these fucking guys, it's always something. So Preston forgot to put on his headphones. So now I
Yeah, I
need
did.
to. Why the fuck are you smiling? That's not a smiling thing. So now I have to
Look,
edit the
I
fuck
just
out of
wanted to do
this.
it on Ecamm anyway, but instead we did it. We did it
We
on.
didn't need to do that. It's like, and then Elio's audio is so low. I have to actually bring in an audio engineer to come in and fix it because if I increase the volume, it might distort his voice. So that's going to take a bit,
This is
depending on
why
how
like
busy that
recording on
guy is.
Ecamm is just so much easier, man. It's just all seamless. It all comes together.
No, I need to be able to edit both of you in case something like this happens. And
So I
of
understand
course,
that. So Carmine is very scared that like in the middle of something will all of a sudden like praise Hitler, and then he needs to be he wants to
well,
have like an editing ability to like cut out like accidental like things that people say.
look. I think after that interview, I think you agree with me that there definitely needs to be some editing.
Oh sure,
Oh,
absolutely.
oh yeah, you can't do that on Ecamm. That looks weird because that's a
It does look
continuous
weird to
thing.
suddenly be like, dope, dope, dope. Granted, I mean, Ecamm, I could just do it. I mean, sometimes we could just do audio on Ecamm because that's also a possibility. But
Also, by the way, for those of you who have been watching this stream the entire time, he literally had audio issues like 10 minutes ago. Like,
touche, touche.
by the way, I want to hype this up. Yes, it's going to be on Patreon, YouTube memberships, all that stuff, yada yada. But also, the thing that Elio said about George that I found was fucking hilarious is that when it comes to spoilers, Preston and George R. R. Martin are the same person. Elio in the
Oh yeah. So
so for the
Elio. The thing about Elio, you got to remember, is Elio first and foremost, he really, really loves the series and loves the writing and loves the experience of reading it for the first time and like having the story unravel for him. Okay, so Elio is really, really against spoilers. He fucking does not like because he wants to experience the story as it's unraveling for the first time. He stopped watching Game of Thrones after season 5 for one of these reasons. Yeah. So when he goes to see George, when he's seen George, he doesn't see him regularly, but when he's seen George, he has to be like, la 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 la, stop telling me stuff. Like, what are you doing?
because George R. R. Martin will apparently like say something about the series, and Elio will have to remind him, George, that's not officially out yet. You haven't that's not out in the 5 books yet. And George will go, oh, sorry, guess I haven't published it yet. Like he'll
Yeah.
casually spoil the Winds of Winter for Elio, and Elio's like, dude, come on, I want to read it when it's out. So, and Preston does the same shit. I don't know if you guys remember last year when I was watching Battlestar Galactica, this fucking guy would just drop spoiler after spoiler after spoiler. I'm like, bro, come on, man. You spoil your own fanfic sometimes for
Yeah,
people.
that's true. That's true. That's true. No,
But
I mean,
no, I'll try to have it out.
things you learn about Preston is that like he can't keep a secret and he's got a big mouth. Everyone knows that about Preston Jacobs. Yeah,
Wish I fucking knew that ages ago.
I
Hey, by the way,
know.
since you mentioned it, where are you going for vacation? You don't mind? You mind telling people?
Columbia, Columbia.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You're not escaping the allegations. I just want you to know.
Yeah. Yep. Well, all them Colombians, they'll see me on the street and they'll be like, it's Preston Jacobs. I don't even know my analytics on how many people in Colombia watch the channel. I'm sure some. Um, da, da, da. Hmm. Okay. Do you think there's any importance to Gawain Wild being killed by Stannis and Ormond Wild being a knight that still supports him? Huh. Um, I don't think there's. I mean, I think that like realistically, when we're talking about just like the that Stannis is going to have a certain number of houses that support him, right? And they have to be in the Narrow Sea or on Cracklaw Point or on Massey's Hook, right? So you've got a limited number of houses, and then if he's going to create a character out of fucking nowhere, he's probably just going to like pick one of these houses. Now, he sometimes just invents houses when he wants to do that, like Clayton Suggs. Oh, there's a house called Suggs. Okay, fine. There, he can of course do that, but so this idea that like Gawain Wild, who who tried to sneak out, and then they were gonna strap him to a catapult, and then Maester Crescent was like, nah, we might need him later if people want to eat him, and then he dies in prison or whatever. I don't know if there's much. That's he's just. I mean, you're right that like Ormond Wild would have been like certainly alive. Ormond Wild being pretty old. Ormond Wild, everyone thinks like is like making bets on like and thinking that Ormond Wild is going to be the next to die. So Ormond Wild was he was definitely active and younger during Robert's Rebellion, and would have been alive when and saw Gawain die. But I guess we have no idea how these people relate to the lords and whatever, right? I mean, man, House Wild. Gladen Wild was part of the Brotherhood Without Banners, right? He dies or the Proto Brotherhood, dies at Mummer's Ford. And Ormond Wild, Gladen Wild, Gawain Wild. Yeah, that's it. I don't know if there's any big significance to it. I mean, you can invent a nice little story about it, but but one guy was implicated and died, and the other didn't. And they didn't seem to really. Ormond didn't seem to mind. He didn't seem to dislike Stannis, but maybe he would have if his kin was strapped to a catapult. I mean, maybe Maester Crescent like saved the situation here. Wouldn't the hair color of Rhaenyra's children have changed the dance? Would the hair color of Rhaenyra's children have changed the dance? I think dance would have still happened if they looked just like her. If I had to read one more bad take on Reddit, I will lose my mind. Does the hair color matter? I mean, it depends which line of thinking you want to go down. But I would say that, let's see. First off, outside of Rhaenyra, okay. Outside of Rhaenyra, there was clearly an anti-Daemon conspiracy going on. Okay? People fucking hated Daemon. And prior to Rhaenyra having a single child, there was clearly a conspiracy against Rhaenyra. Okay? Both of those things just factually happened, right? People were making up shit about Daemon, trying to keep Daemon off the throne, and people were making shit up about Rhaenyra. And so when you get to this point where the war is going to happen and Rhaenyra is married to Daemon, like we've already seen the characters for oh my God, like 30 fucking years, like conspiring against Daemon and Rhaenyra, like to the point where it's just a comical farce. At this point, like Rhaenyra's children having brown hair, it's just irrelevant. It's just like throw it on the fucking pile. Like no one fucking like people were so against these characters for years and were scheming against them for years. I mean, this is no secret. This is no like theory crafting. Like it's very clear. Like one thing after the other. Like Otto Hightower was writing letters that said we have to do everything to keep Daemon Targaryen off the throne. Okay, and then what happened? Well, they pushed forward Rhaenyra, and then the minute Rhaenyra was around, Alicent is spreading rumors about how Rhaenyra is having sex with Kristen Cole. You know, and then the minute like she gets married to, and then they marry her to a gay guy, and then the minute she gets married to a gay guy, they're spreading rumors that she's having sex with Harwin Strong. I mean, it's, and then, you know, she gets married to Daemon, who they hate. Like, it's just who everybody hates, like the forces. So, no, like Rhaenyra's children's hair color, it's irrelevant. Like, they already proved that they didn't want women on the throne too. Like, you have that as well. You have the fact that like Rhaenys was not chosen at the Council of 101. So you kind of you have all of these things working against Rhaenyra. The hair color, like of Rhaenyra's children, is just irrelevant. It's just irrelevant, and it doesn't make any sense because like for people to be like, oh God, like we have to stop Rhaenyra or else Jace is going to be on the throne and he's a bastard. And it's like, well, if you want to accuse Jace of being a bastard, well, then you can just go down the line and Aegon's going to be king. Like what's the Aegon the Third is going to be king. Like, and not to mention the fact that Rhaenyra is young. Like she's going to be ruling for many, many years. Like, why are we worrying about the succession when Rhaenyra is still young? They're clearly against Rhaenyra and they're clearly against Daemon. It has nothing to do with fucking hair color. No one cares about the fucking hair color thing. Like it's the hair color thing is so unimportant. When you look at the history, it's just had silver hair, it doesn't matter. They would still would have been spreading the infidelity rumors about Harwin Strong and calling them bastards. I mean, it didn't stop, like, hair color didn't stop, like, those infidelity rumors about Daeron II or that kind of stuff still happened. They still spread these bastard rumors, like, no matter what. So it literally would not have mattered. In fact, like, when Princess and the Queen came out, were they even brown haired in that? I don't even think they were brown haired when Princess and the Queen was originally written. And then George like retconned them. He retconned them with having brown hair. Like he originally wrote the story with them all having with no difference in their hair, and then decided to go back and retcon it brown. So, I mean, like George himself didn't fucking care about the hair color thing and then added that as a later element. Like the story was going to happen the way the story was going to happen no matter what. Is Bran like Soul from Raised by Wolves sending visions?
Is that who's sending visions in Raised by Wolves? Was that confirmed?
I don't think we know what happens in Raised by Wolves. Like
actually,
right?
The showrunner did a podcast where apparently people were complaining about it. The podcast the showrunner did, he kept spoiling all the stuff that would be happening in future seasons. So we might have to take a listen. But is that confirmed? I'm asking this person here who sent the super chat.
No, I mean, well, let's say it is, but like, who is? I mean, Sol is their god, but like, I don't think there's an established god in the story, right? Like, we just kind of get this idea that um like the dude is clearly going crazy, but it might be coming from tech, right? Like the Pentagon things or the dodecahedron things that they find, and whatever is causing the flying snake alien and all sorts of shit. Like, it's never explained. Like, what makes the tree grow with the brains, and he eats the brains. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't think any of it was explained, but I imagine it was just some sort of alien tech or alien kind of thing in the end that they're misinterpreting as religion. Um, so I don't think soul God actually or is proven to exist in that. But maybe we'll have to listen to the fucking podcast and figure it out. I don't know. Um, but I do think though that probably Bran is sending all the visions. So I do think that time traveling Bran is probably sending all the visions. You know. What's the solution for Haiti? Oof. So one of the things about Haiti is there was just a lot of high level corruption in the government. It's not, the problem I don't think has ever been like, say the Haitian people. The Haitian people are some nice, hardworking like people that and for until recently there wasn't even that much crime in Haiti. Now there is, but and the reason the country kept falling apart is because there was just severe corruption in the government. So what you need is for that is you just need a lot of oversight and a lot of auditors, coming in and like establishing like oversight mechanisms and investigators to keep out the corruption. But the problem is that like the high level politicians are the ones that are like controlling everything, and they wouldn't want that oversight. So I mean, if I were running things, I guess like foreign assistance, but foreign assistance is dependent upon like watchdog groups and auditors like looking at the spending of every dime and making sure that money is going to people on the ground like it should. But we are, as a world, like not I mean, everything getting cut and foreign assistance destroyed and USAID destroyed by fucking just horrible human beings that are going to burn in hell. For just I just don't see where all of this where this assistance is going to come from. So it's a sad situation considering how much help Haiti needs. It's a country rich with resources, lots of beaches. There's just a lot there. It shouldn't be like it is, but it was just high level corruption, stealing a lot of money, and it not getting to the people. And yeah, I mean, that's what I say is that we need a lot of foreign assistance, but we also need oversight of that foreign assistance to make sure that the aid gets to where it needs to go. But unfortunately, the world's appetite for this is the sad thing about the destruction of USAID is that other foreign governments and other NGOs, they like to give to programs that are already established and that have a continuing flow of money. Like there's no one wants to go in, throw a bunch of money at a project that's going to fall apart in a year, and that's just wasted money. But if you see a project that's like, oh, well, we have funding for 10 years, then other people come in and go, oh, well, we'll chip into that too, because now it's this established thing that's going to be there for the long term. And this is the worst. This is the thing about like when USAID was destroyed, like not only do you lose the American funds, but you lose all of the other funds because no one wants to throw money at something that's not stable. And so it's really, yeah. Was the Feast Prologue the only thing that George writes first things last? No, I mean George wrote the A Game of Thrones prologue very early. He wrote the Clash prologue very early. The Feast prologue, I mean, I want to say that the Dance with Dragons prologue was probably written sometime in the middle of the whole thing. It was also kind of late, but relatively speaking, Feast for Crows was written very late. One of the last chapters probably was the Feast for Crows prologue. But that, I mean, the function of a lot of different things on that, with the abandonment of the mega prologue and the splitting of the books and things like that. So it's but I think, like, I mean, and I couldn't imagine, considering how the story from the Storm of Swords prologue flows into the others. I mean, I can check on, actually I have the dates on the fucking Storm of Swords one. Let me see. Let me check the draft dates. Yeah, he wrote the Storm of Swords prologue very early, with very very early. So yeah, it was only Feast that has like the super late prologue. Condolences on your loss of your friend. Yeah, thank you. Your thoughts on the latest Pluribus episode and what you think might happen in the finale. I mean, I'd say that, like, Carmine, you watched the last Pluribus episode, right?
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying it was a bad episode, but it's probably my least favorite of the episodes, only because it didn't really drive the story forward as much as the other episodes did. I still liked it. I think it was fascinating, and you wonder who, like, we see that our protagonist is not being sincere in her interaction with the collective, and you wonder about how sincere the collective is being. I mean, she believes that the collective can't lie, but you know, I do wonder about that, because I wonder how manipulative and the collective is being. But there's some fascinating plot points in there about, like, they're building a big antenna and stuff like that, and so.
And they want to share this gift
Yeah,
with other species across
right.
the universe.
And you're like, what the fuck is, what the hell? I mean, it'll take a long time. And it took 640 years for the message to get to Earth. But yeah. So there's some I do like the fascinating, like, sci-fi elements that are lingering in the background that are not thought about very much. But so a few of those came in. So
that episode also kind of confirms my theory that it's kind of a weapon, and in a sense, it kind of is.
Mm-hmm. It was also very interesting. I thought there was an interesting thing that was brought up about. She started asking about what's the name of the liaison's real name?
Zhozha.
What is it?
The her companion, the one that always follows her, Zhozha.
Zhozha. Here's the thing about Zhozha is, because she starts asking about Zhozha's like personal likes, right? I'd love to know if Zhozha was a lesbian before she joined or not.
I was thinking the same thing.
Right? Because it's like, if you're talking about her personal likes and you're now having a sexual relationship with her, like, how much consent is, I mean, this goes to the Mauritanian too. Like, how much consent is there when your body is no longer your body, but everybody's body? you know.
Can you imagine like a scenario where, let's say, the hive mind is defeated and everyone goes back to normal?
Right.
Everything Carol has done to Joja when Joja was agreeable, and now that Joja is back to normal, like, yeah, that's
Hmm.
kind of fucked up. That
Yeah, yeah. I
is.
mean, the Mauritanians going to face the same moral questions, you know.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, like of her own free will, would Joja have done that? You know, like
Her brain kind of broke a little. Maybe I don't know if it was her brain breaking or her receiving information that
right,
Manusos is coming, but it
right, because
almost
it
seemed like as
happened
she was
right at the
asking.
moment, right, and so you didn't
Hmm.
know if that brain break was from remembering what Joja liked versus like the Paraguayan coming. But I'm really looking forward. I mean, they know that the Paraguayan is a fucking fascinating character, and so they've been building up like, well, we're gonna fucking have you really know the Paraguayan in this like last episode. So it's like, okay, you're gonna treat us because we all think the Paraguayan is fucking rock star, but you know, so like,
Here's the thing about him. I think last episode was very wasted because it could have been a good chunk of it his journey through the Darien Gap and through like the Central America. Because despite only having like what maybe 2 3 lines of dialogue, my man is such a good actor. That the tension in his face, his eyes,
mm-hmm,
like what a like
yeah.
he is super interesting despite not even having that much dialogue.
I know. I fucking love the line too, though, where he's just like, "You're not my mother. My mother was a bitch." I fucking like. I think that's so funny.
But I do agree with you. You're right about how, first off, the pacing is atrocious. I have to wait 7 days for the story to move at a snail's pace. I know some asshole is probably going to say, like, well, Carmine, you don't understand patience. This is how Vince Gilligan does. Yeah, yeah, suck my dick.
I mean, it
Um,
is true that like I binged uh
Better Call Saul or
Better Call
Breaking Bad?
no, and I never binged Better Call Saul, but I binged Breaking Bad, and I thought it was great. But I do
Hmm.
think had I not binged it, I would have been like, ah, what are we fucking doing? Oh my god, this is going
Right.
on for years. Like you had a whole episode about the fucking cop's wife's kleptomania that has nothing to do with the fucking story. Like, you
That never
know,
comes back. It never comes
it
back at
never
all.
fucking comes
And
back.
but with this show, it's constantly like the lingering shots and these long scenes, and like I get it. It's a show about vibes. That's
Yeah.
perfectly okay. But man, do we trudge along to the plot? Fuck. And it's the only thing Vince Gilligan can do. He's known for his amazing side characters. There are no side characters here. They're all off doing their own thing. Mauritanian guy, Paraguay guy, they're all doing their own thing. It's just Carol alone with 7 billion of the same character. There's
Yeah.
not much there. Like, what is she going to do besides just sit and fuck off with fireworks?
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, the story hasn't been like super tense and interesting since she drugged Zoja.
Yeah.
That was
No,
when
yeah,
it really
that
hit.
was super interesting. And like her going, you know, it's like, yeah, it's interesting for her emotionally to like be kind of like dealing with her loneliness and going into a you know, nearly becoming suicidal because she's so lonely. That was all very interesting. But
Well, here's the thing, though. We don't even know if that's true or not. It could be an act to get them to come back, so she can try like new theories on how to bring them everyone back. And maybe the new plan now is to like try to bring Joja back on an
yeah.
individual level.
Yeah.
Force it. Like, don't say we, say I. It's still I'm still enjoying the show, but man, I wish it kind of like the pacing was a bit quicker.
Yeah. Um let's see. What are the fake miracles that happen in the Quran? Um, so one of the unusual things about the Quran that people kind of have a tough time wrapping their head around is that when you think of other holy books like you know the Bible and the Old Testament, the New Testament, even the Book of Mormon, you tend to think of it as stories. Like these are some fun stories, and and you know you can kind of go through the Bible and think of like each of the characters and oh the story of Esau and Joshua and like you know that kind of thing. Um, the Quran is not so much a book of stories. It's more like if you just took kind of Deuteronomy and Psalms, and you have a bunch of sayings and a bunch of laws and stuff like that. They refer back to a lot of Bible stories, a lot as like metaphors and just like if you remember when Noah did this, they call Noah Nuh, but like this and this but you got to remember also like the Quran. It's a really really boring book. It's like it's mostly inheritance law and divorce law, like a big chunk of it. And then a huge chunk is just random sayings that don't really mean anything. Like God looks fondly on the just man, but does not but hates the wicked man. And you're like, well, of course, like, like the man who is filled with the faith of God is filled with love, just like poetic, meaningless religious stuff. Like I say, it's closer to Psalms and like Deuteronomy, where it's just like random stuff written like that, than it is to any sort of storybook. Okay. So now that said, you do hear about various events that are supernatural. So obviously like Muhammad receives the message. That's obviously supernatural. And then there's a story of Muhammad taking a horse and flying to Jerusalem at night, and and coming back, and him knowing about what Jerusalem looks like.
Surely not the story about him cutting the moon in half. That's got to be real, right?
Yeah, but it's just there's just I'm trying to think like, but you don't have anything like the flood story or stopping of the sun or stuff like that. Maybe you'll hear some random stuff like you'll hear there's the story of like the Zemzem water coming out, like Isaac kicking the ground. But a lot of these are like just are referenced. They're not necessarily like narratively told. It's not like the book of Job where you're introduced at the beginning to Satan and God having a conversation, and then you're getting to Job, and then you get to the end and there's a lesson. That's not how things are set up. It's poetry. It's poetry and laws and sayings mostly. It's not stories. So, there are miracles. There's like I say, a handful of miracles, and references to like, they think that Jesus is still alive, walking the earth. He was swapped out on the cross, things like that. But it's not laid out like a story. And so I say, like, reading the Quran, it's just fantastically boring. I mean, the Bible itself is already fantastically boring, but like, it is just like, it's drudgery. It's drudgery to get through. If you're, I mean, to someone that speaks Arabic, they're like, oh, but it's such beautiful poetry. You're like, I guess, but like, if you're reading translations, you just don't get that. And so now it's just like, what are you reading? So I mean, like, in a literature sense, like it's not a fun read. Like the Bible is already not a fun read. So, and that at least has stories and characters, but like this, yeah, it's not what people kind of think it is, So
Jesus still walks the earth, like the Emperor of Mankind from Warhammer 40K. He's among us somewhere.
Yes. Will Netflix release Blood Moon or the Game of Thrones pilot #1? Oh, I wish, but no, they're never going to do that. Jeez.
To add more to that, did you know that HBO won't even show it to George? They won't even show George the Blood Moon pilot. They refuse to do so. They will not do it. It goes into the vault, and that's it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's unfortunately.
Wait a minute. We need to still cover it. Remember the fucking pictures that I have?
Oh yeah. Carmine and I have all these behind the scenes artwork and costume designs from Blood Moon that we were going to go through and talk about.
Deidre Miro is in it from Andor. I think she's a Lannister, but yeah, she's a character in Blood Moon. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I wonder if that's a typo G Stuff made or a typo from the draft. I will keep in mind there. It might also be G Stuff didn't type anything. He took pictures and then I object recognitioned and then kind of put it in a Word document. So it might be also like an object recognition like thing. I didn't go through and like edit and check back to the document. So it very well could be a George typo, or it could very well be an OCR. Is that what they call it? Object, whatever, error. So G Stuff made no errors. G Stuff took the pictures. So, yeah, Laras's explanation about King's Landing is not getting news is stupid. Well, it's true. I'm glad. A lot of almost every change that you see in the final product, you're like, yeah, this is better. This is better. Favorite Oscar host. Isn't everybody's favorite Oscar host Billy Crystal? Didn't he do the best job? I mean, he just looks like he was having a great time. He appealed to the most people. Right? They have these like lists here of the 10 best Vogue's 10 best Oscar hosts. Neil Patrick Harris. I see a lot of these I haven't seen in a while. Like back when I actually like used to watch the Oscars. I guess Neil Patrick Harris is probably pretty good. Hugh Jackman, Conan O'Brien. I like these ones that are like number 2, Bob Hope. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Bob Hope was a horrible fucking host. He just read cue cards horribly. He was the worst. I hate it when people take like articles take like old favorites and they're like, oh, they were so great, and you're like, maybe like when Bob Hope, maybe when he was super young, when he was hanging out with doing buddy comedies with Bing Crosby, but man, how many fucking decades did we have to tolerate his horrible cue card reading? Oh my god, fucking Bob Hope. Anyway, I think Billy Crystal is probably the best. But then again, I haven't really seen them all. So, I heard a rumor that there's a lot of poop humor in The Hedge Knight. What's your take on this, and why would they do this? Yes. I heard the same thing. I wouldn't look. It's not a lot of poop humor. However, it's very noticeable when it happens, and it's at very big moments, and so it sticks in your head more because they're at such moments. So yeah, there's definitely like some poop humor where you're like, that's a bold choice. That's weird. That's really weird. But I wouldn't say a lot. There's actually probably only 2 or 3 poop humor jokes in the whole series.
You assume.
I assume.
HBO watching this stream like a fucking hawk.
I know, I assume. But the poop humor that happens, whether it be a poop or a dick or a fart, there's only there's only 3 or 4 in the whole series. But it's so like in your face that you're like, oh fuck. Like, it's like if I take House of the Dragon, I'm like, well, how many farts were in House of the Dragon? I can't remember. I only remember 1, but it was also a butt in the middle of the camera farting in my fucking face. And I was like, that's an odd choice. That's weird. So yes, I wouldn't say a lot, but when it's there, it's fucking there. So, is that okay, Carmine? Did I fucking blow it? Did I
No,
blow
you're
it?
fine. That was good. That was good. No,
Okay.
I
Okay.
know it must be very hard for you.
I know, man. I know. I know.
Allegedly, hypothetically, what
Allegedly,
ifs?
hypothetically, hypothetically, if one did see the series and was commenting on the poop humor, they might give an answer like that. Um, Daenerys's life mirrors Alexander the Great. Huh. Um. Well, let's see. A lot of conquest, a lot of merging of like ruler with God, right? Um. Um. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some other kind of aspects of it. Um, but I mean, almost all rulers of the kind of ancient world had that kind of divine conflation, right? Where they're making them seem like God kings and God emperors. Um, let's see. How did Alexander the Great die? This is something I don't know. Um, I imagine in war. Oh my god! So this Wikipedia article is just personality, sexuality. Like Jesus, who fucking? Oh my god! How much more do we want to know about physical appearance, character? Oh my god. Um. Post-death events. All right. How does the Alexander die? Died in palace at the age of 32. Different accounts. He was being entertained. He spent a night drinking. Developed a fever. And then he died drowning after having 11 days of weakness. So some people think he was assassinated, but pause. Or maybe he got malaria or typhoid fever. So people don't know. So who knows? I mean, I don't know. It's pretty. I wouldn't say there's anything that like sticks out greatly. I mean, is the idea that Alexander also like conquered Egypt and therefore like Danny kind of conquers the Westeros as Egypt. Um, but Danny hasn't yet been, it wasn't her choice to deify herself like Alexander. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, in the sense that there's like an inclusion of Egypt and deification and a very fast conquest, but I don't know if that's really much to go on, you know. Any plans for Danny to stop by Ashai before going west in the fanfic? Lots of exposition to be had there, and may not take too long on Dragonback. No, I've really just um, I'm just having her go to Karth, but I don't think I mean, maybe we can have another character go to a shy, but I don't know about Danny. I think Danny, we need to get her home. I mean, I think we need to get her to Westeros, and that requires some discipline. I mean, we'd all love to hear about a shy and Danny having lots of adventures forever in Essos, but at this point, like, you have a chapter in Vastoth Rock, chapter in Karth, chapter back in Slaver's Bay, and then maybe one more chapter with Volantis or something, or somewhere else, or maybe House with the Red Door, and then you got to get her home. There's just too much. There's too much to cover, and at some point you got to just start saying, okay, come on, let's do it. Let's just go. Let's move. So I mean, the big goal is to try to get her, if not landing in Westeros, like at least like taking off to go to Westeros, in the next chapter by the end of the story. And that's the big hope. So I think we can do that. But having go to a shy, I mean, I understand that dragons, like, they feel like this jetpack thing, but I was actually thinking about the logistics of even Danny getting to Karth, and I was like, oh my god, like, shit, she's, how many hours can she be on Dragonback? And then when Drogon lands, he needs to eat and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, is this really realistic? I was actually thinking about this, and I was like, dragon fucking. How many miles can a dragon fly, and at what speed before he needs to eat? Where is he going to get that food in the Red Waste and stuff like that? So, like, if he's going to a shy, like, is he stopping and eating fish? Like, how is he doing it? It would take, some time. Rest in peace to your friend and Reiner's favorite Reiner movie. A Few Good Men. Fucking A Few Good Men is my favorite Reiner movie. Oh my god. How fucking perfect that fucking movie is. What a beautiful, beautiful movie. So well paced. So well acted. So many fucking stars. What a fucking great, great movie. But just think about, I mean, the movies he made, though. Stand By Me, The Princess Bride, incredible movie. When Harry Met Sally, great. Misery, great. A Few Good Men. American President, that's kind of, yeah. I never saw Ghost of Mississippi, but man. This is Spinal Tap, obviously. North. But yeah, but man, just a few good men by itself. Jesus, what a movie! What a fucking great fucking movie. Like, A Few Good Men, like, I put it in the same category as like Jaws, where if you start watching it, just drawn in, and you can't stop. You can't stop watching until it's over, because it's just that fucking good of a movie, and it's so compelling. Oh man, what a fucking great movie. Carmine, you want to know if Jorah Mormont is Sansa?
I was making fun of that guy in the very beginning who was asked you that question about this character being this character. Like, come on. It's what's funny is when we were doing the Elio interview, even Elio was making fun of those people, because like, who people asking why.
Happy holidays to you and your family. Thank you. Happy Kwanzaa to everybody. Check out the art of Alejandro Kayart. He's done cute portraits of nearly all the characters up to A Storm of Swords. Even L.R. Deem, Stone Snake, Malor the Dornishman. Hey.
I can give you
hello, Trey.
example.
Hi. Hello.
How are things
Here,
going?
I can give you some example pictures of this guy, Preston. I'm putting on
Okay,
Facebook.
okay. Let me.
Oh, I'm doing well. How about you? How about you, Preston and Carmine?
It's been a weird day. It's been a weird day, but yeah.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, no, I mean, an old friend of mine passed away today, and so it's.
Oh.
I mean, I lost touch with him for about 10. I didn't talk to him less than 10 years, but it was one of my best friends in high school, and he was a really good guy, and it's just so it's been kind of a weird stream in that sense, you know. I mean, a lot of people
Oh
wish him
gosh.
condolences, but yeah.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, it's and it's of course, you know, weird. Just in a, you know, I mean, anybody's death like makes you like think about your own life and like fuck and like, you know, wishing you kept up with the friend, wishing that you, you know, wondering if like there's anything could have been done, that kind of thing. But he was a great guy. He was a great guy. Really, that's the thing. I mean, and I don't mean like he was a really kind, nice person, but not in a boring way. You know how like nice people can just be sometimes boring people. Like no, he was like really fucking loud and obnoxious and you know a lot of obnoxious and offensive but at the end of the day, like he was actually he was really fucking kind to everyone. Like he never, you know, so, like I never remember him saying or doing a mean thing ever. Which is just fucking crazy. I mean, maybe if you was one of his ex-girlfriends, I don't know.
Oh,
yeah. So, but what do we got? We got these portraits. What's going on here, Carmine?
So
this
guy, he drew a lot of random book characters, and his art's okay. It's reminds me of like a newspaper.
Is his like kind of the anime style? Like,
no,
is this the guy that gets popular?
It is like
Twitter?
cartoon style there. It is.
No, here, Trey, I'll send it to you on Discord. 1 second.
Because there is like a person on Twitter right now making some pretty good Song of Ice and Fire like fan art.
That they made Brienne. I think they made Rob Catalan. They made some really good ones.
Yeah, they make it like I love that guy's stuff because he takes it like at different parts of the story. Like it'll be like Brienne early story, Brienne Feast for Crows, Jamie. Like it, like you can tell that they read the source material, unlike the guy that they actually hired. You know. Let's see. Oh, these are cute. Yeah, these are.
Yeah,
cute.
no,
yeah.
it's
Yeah. So I don't want to disparage this guy, but there's another guy who does the same thing that I follow on Instagram. His name is it's a little harder to pronounce. Tom Q, A Song of Ice and Fire. He does basically the same thing, but like more detailed.
But these are the things. This is really fucking cool, though. I mean,
I like these. I like this guy, Carmine. These are kind of cool.
Preston, let me show you this one here from the guy I'm talking about, Tom Q. 1 second. And ironically, his most recent one is Alardine, believe it or not. And this is how he chose to portray Alardine. This is, by the way,
Alardine fan art. Do we even get a description of Alardine, like what he looks like?
No, this is a completely different guy than the super chatter is talking about. This guy here is Tom Q, A Song of Ice and Fire on Instagram. I sent it to you on Facebook.
Okay. Okay, so you got Alardine here for me. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
We got our Alardine. Getting our Alardine on. Alardine, there he is.
So you're confusing me a little. So this is the ones the super chatter is talking about from that guy Alejandro.
Yeah.
I sent you a new one from the guy I follow on Instagram. So Alejandro has more of like a newspaper cartoon style to his.
Mm.
And this guy here, Tom Q, he does a bit more detailed, like this is world book level stuff. And yeah, that's LRD. Like, yeah, that's it.
That's
This is one of my favorite
chilling at the
fan
wall.
artists here.
LR Deem, hang at the wall. Chilling at Eastwatch, never thrown. You think someone's just gonna throw that guy overboard? That's not worth the effort. Like,
It's not worth the effort. Hey, did you ask Elio about Alardim? I don't remember.
I did. I brought up LR Deem.
Oh God, that's right.
Because I brought up Quentin, and of course he doesn't think Quentin is alive, and I'm like, no, it's not about whether Quentin is alive or not. It's the fact that like George just leaves fucking stuff open, and so if he wants to bring somebody back, he can. If he wants to fucking bring Wex back, like honestly, had Wex never like appeared again, right? Would it have mattered? Like you would have just been like, oh yeah, he was killed with the rest of the Ironborn. Like you wouldn't have thought about fucking Wex forever, you know? But he brought him back. Brought him back actually very illogically, because like, why would a dire wolf not smell him and whatever? But he brought back Wex. Sure, you know. But the thing is, like, is Wex coming back like more logical than LRD coming back? No, LRD coming back would probably be more logical, considering that like, why would anyone bother throwing him over? You know, like, you know, I mean, Tyrion literally says like, hey, you know, if you want, you can kill that guy. Am I getting anything out of this? Like
my face. We're doing this interview with this guy, and this is literally my face. He brings up Alardim. I'm like, oh my God, he's fucking, he's motherfucking bringing up Alardim right now.
No, but Preston's 100% right with George. You know, like when they made the trailer for Rise of Skywalker. Do you remember Rise of Skywalker trailer where Luke goes, "No one's ever really gone." It's like how George writes, you know. Like, no one's ever really gone.
As much as he gets all this like I mean, I think the big joke is in the Marvel universe, everyone can come back except for Gwen Stacy, and even now Gwen Stacy fucking came back. So like that was the old joke, like everyone can come back except Gwen Stacy. But yeah, it's the same. Everybody can come back except for Ned. Like Ned's the only one that's not coming back. Everyone else, because I brought up Stone Snake. And he was like, oh, because as the other primary example of like, if he wants to bring Stone Snake back, he can. And you know, he kind of admitted, at least with Stone Snake, yeah, probably George originally thought I'll keep this guy alive in case I want to bring him back. But then he's like, he probably won't ever bring back Stone Snake. And I was like, that's fair. George probably wasn't going to bring back, I mean, but he certainly left Stone Snake alive in case he wanted to.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know, you just, if they come back, they don't.
The Night of Seashells, right? Did you bring up the Night of Seashells?
I did. I did mention very the Night clearly. Of Seashells. But yeah, Stone Snake, the Night of Seashells, like fucking Alardim. It's I'm just saying, it makes killing LRD makes no fucking sense. I understand that like you were supposed to think that he died, but like, why would anyone, like logically speaking, why would anyone kill LRD?
You know what, Preston? Trey is right. No one's ever really gone, which means you're bringing back Jon Snow for the fanfic, right? You're bringing back Jon Snow.
No, except Jon.
Except for Jon, he's dead.
Oh my gosh. Preston, I wanted to ask you, have you ever had any good theory on in like Storm, I think Feast and Dance, they put so much time into the wars between Lyse, Tyrosh, and Myr. Is there ever like any logic to it? Like you hear little reports.
At one time, I had a theory that the movements of the wars had to do with support for like Illyrio's cause, and like but looking back on it, I'm like, it's pretty loose, and they're just. I don't think there's supposed to be any logic to it. I think we're supposed to like our eyes are supposed to glaze over as it doesn't make any sense because that's how Westeros sees it. Like, why, how are these ones aligning now with those ones and stuff like that. Um, when I was in college, my roommate was super into the war in Bosnia. And like, I remember that like at the time I was like, how can you like, because every day it was like, and today the Croatian Serbs, like we're doing this with the Serbian Croatians. And you're like, what, like the Bosnian Serbs and the Serbian Bosnians and you're like, everything was mixed up with the cause that's Yugoslavia. And I was just like, this is just so confusing and like day to day so boring. Like and he thought it was all fascinating. I'm sorry, former Yugoslavians, but like that all of your pain and torment for those years ran together in a lice tyrosh, like
Tyrosh
sort of way to an
mirror.
outsider. But it's like, oh God, you know. But yeah.
Okay.
But so yeah. I don't know if I had just some sort of idea that it was the I think I even called it like an alliance of the Nine Penny Kings or something. Even though all the information on the Nine Penny Kings hadn't come out yet, I think it's in the original Dornish master plan video, like way back in the day.
Dude.
Was when I tried to like make sense of Lice, Mir, and Tyrosh. But he has Malor the Dornishman too. All of these guys
Malor
should be
the Dornishman. What?
Malor the Dornishman.
Oh my God.
That's
that's one of your fans, Preston. Like I can tell this guy probably is a fan of your stuff if he's mentioning Malor the Dornishman.
Either that or he just went like line by line and like started getting them. But I'm surprised, like considering he's done Malor the Dornishman, like no one's added that to the wiki yet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder why.
It's crazy that somebody like Shiera, like or not Shiera, what's Sarah, like Illyrio's dead wife doesn't have official art.
But not Malor the Dornishman. Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh man, Malor the Dornishman.
That is one section of that fucking interview that I will not clip. Let's just leave it at that.
Favorite Kubrick movie, favorite Scorsese movie. I think it's very hard to beat 2001 for the best Kubrick movie, right?
I like The Shining, but you're right, 2001's hard to beat. Just like technically it's very, very impressive.
Yeah.
Like
the fact they made that
Clockwork Orange. Thank you. I like you more now for not saying that. I'm so sick of people saying that.
I think A Clockwork Orange is overrated. But
thank you. God, I know I love you. That's why I love you. Thank you.
I also believe
Full Metal Jacket.
Here's some things that like I think that Full Metal Jacket's first half is a perfect movie.
Yeah.
But like the second half is clearly not as good as the first half. So like it's kind of like everyone remembers the first half and they're like, oh, what a fucking incredible movie. And you're like, yes, that first half is an incredible movie. like, but yeah, The Shining's good, but yeah, I gotta go with 2001. And I think Dr. Strangelove is granted I'm not of that time, so maybe if I lived through the 60s, it would be different, but I watched Dr. Strangelove and I think this is overrated, but like I did not live during the 60s. So I think if you're of that time, maybe it's different, but 2001 is just so...
It's amazing how well it holds up. Like 2001.
Oh yeah.
It's so good. Like we hadn't landed on the moon yet and it still like holds up. Like that's crazy. Man.
I know. And Eyes Wide Shut is, I don't know, forgettable for me. But yeah. Scorsese now. let's see.
Martin Scorsese movies. Let's see.
Say it. Say it.
Probably Goodfellas, right?
Of course.
Yeah, Goodfellas. It's gotta be. Oh, Killers of the Flower Moon, I actually really like too.
Oh, some people do
yeah,
say that.
Goodfellas.
I haven't seen it yet. Everybody says
hard
it
to
might be
beat.
his best. But let's see. Some ones I do not. Okay. First of all, fuck Cape Fear. Fuck that movie. I don't think
I like how I like how I looked up Martin Scorsese movies and Shark Tale is on here. That's great.
See, this is the thing. Is Scorsese. I'll say this. Scorsese has a lot of movies I don't like.
I'm waiting for your usual rant on The Departed. I'm waiting for it. It hurts me.
No, I think The Departed. I think The Departed is actually kind of middle of the road. I think it's fine. I think for instance, Mean Streets. That's pretty fucking. That's fine. You know, like I like The Last Temptation of Christ is a really good movie. But I think Goodfellas.
Casino. Goodfellas is hard to
Casino's fine. Aviator's fine. The Departed's
Taxi Driver?
fine.
Come on.
Shutter Island.
Taxi Driver's
don't
good.
like Shutter Island.
I don't like Wolf of Wall Street, and I think people that think it's their favorite. Like I've met so many dude bros, some like finance bros, be like, "That's my favorite movie, Wolf of Wall Street."
No, I mean when I look at the list and I'm just like, not a lot of. I mean, a lot of them are good, and a lot of them made me feel really strong feelings, but. Like a movie like Goodfellas is just fucking perfect. It's just like, wow, what you did with that movie when you go through his whole filmography, like that one just sticks out. It's just like clearly the best one.
Preston, you now watching Killers of the Flower Moon is kind of crazy because I know how like into Native American culture you're in.
Yeah, I'll watch it, I'll watch it eventually. I will.
You need to get on that.
I'm into a lot of cultures, Carmine. I'm into a lot of cultures. Okay.
If you read the book is very good too. The book is written by like a good investigative journalist who's like a historian too, who does like his own research that is like actually impressive.
Is the Song of Ice and Fire Valyrian mutant DNA versus Werewood hive mind? I'm trying to think like, all right, like when you think of like, so what I really like stepping back from the whole thing, like obviously like when George named the series A Song of Ice and Fire, he was referring to Fire and Ice. So he's referring to the apocalyptic poem by Robert Frost. So he's definitely having something about apocalypse. And obviously there's the ice and fire, and you're supposed to think of John and Danny. Like obviously like that's like there. Then people started going further and being like, well, you know, there's ice and there's fire, and then there's ice and fire. Bran is ice and Danny's fire, and John is ice and fire. And you're like, no, no, it's very clear that he's talking about the story of the others and the story of dragons and the end of the world, and eventually the two things will meet. Like let's keep it simple. Like it's but you know, Valyrian mutant DNA versus Werewood hive mind. Yeah, but I mean, he's really talking about the whole like theater, right? Like the theater of the others, and you know, the fire from the dragons and things like that. Like I understand this idea of like fire whites and ice whites, and I, you know, once I tried to make sense of the fucking, you know how Jojen's weird vow that he makes to Bran in A Clash of Kings, where they're like, we swear it by earth and water, we swear it by bronze and steel, we swear it by ice and fire. And like I spent some time like trying to analyze through that, be like, what are these, who's the steel is the first men, and the bronze is the Andals, and the ice, like who's the ice and who's the fire, and this, and then it's like, or was just George just fucking writing some shit like that's like, and didn't really put thought into it. You know, we swear
he's got the dualism.
Yeah.
Because when he brings it up like it's like love and hate, right? It's like dualistic, like the two contrasts
Yeah, I mean,
that can
yeah,
be
in
together.
love and hate is the or desire, hate and desire is like ice and fire in the poem and stuff like that. We swear it.
Hmm.
I swear it by bronze and iron. It's so weird. This, by the way, like how fucking cheesy. Like looking back at this line, like oh my god. I swear it by earth and water, said the boy in green. I swear it by bronze and iron, his sister said. We swear it by ice and fire, they finished together, turning to the camera and winking. Like,
Oh man.
that's.
How did the show end? They closed the book and it's a song of ice and fire or whatever. Remember this? There's like a
Yeah.
book at the end of the and Tyrion's not in it for some reason. They're like
Right.
you're not mentioned.
Like the
Like,
ridiculousness of that, like of him not being in it.
Like the hand of the queen is not mentioned. Yeah. Sure.
It's like he was hand of the king, like during the War of the Five Kings of. These things. I don't know. Yeah, looking back, I don't know how I feel about the
Justin,
judgment.
your mic did it again.
Really?
Check.
All right. Okay. Yeah, switched off. But yeah, do I think that the is fire mutant DNA versus the werewood hive mind? I mean, in some sort of like sci-fi battle. Um, I mean, it's not that I don't think Valyrian mutant DNA is a thing, and werewood hive mind. I just don't know if they represent the ice and fire. I think ice and fire are probably just the theaters of the story.
Doesn't
I think
Bloodraven throw a wrench
hold on,
into
Trey.
that too?
I think,
yeah.
Preston, I think your audio won't allow you to switch it back to the Yeti because when you tried, you went silent and then it just switched you back to your laptop mic.
Oh.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh wait, there it
sounds
is.
good
That's
now.
fine now.
Wow. We'll see what they do. Yeah. But you're right that it went at it fucking again. It's gotta. All right, motherfucker.
Sounds good now.
Yeah.
It sounds good now. Don't fuck with it.
Okay. Oh my god, so far to get.
Jojen and Mira's oath, another one of George's unfinished oaths. That's good. That's good. George cannot finish oaths.
How many times have you read a World of Ice and Fire? How recently? I'm just going through it again, maybe the fifth time. We should have more deference for it. So much of the fan lexicon can be attributed to it. Oh.
Yeah.
I have not. I mean, I've opened it in pieces, but like read it from like beginning to end, probably only the first time, and then after that, it was just like going back and referencing stuff. Because it's not like a fun read or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of the fan lexicon like comes from that. What I find is really interesting when doing the fanfic is how often I come across a word and I'm like, has George ever used this word? And I'll put it into a search of Ice and Fire, and I'll find that it's used many times in the world of Ice and Fire, but not in the series. And you're like, oh, that's really interesting. That obviously like Elio and Linda didn't quite get like George's voice of like what he would actually write. And it's really, I mean, it's subtle. It's like these random words here and there, I was looking up the word variety today and I was like, is variety or variance or anything like that in a Song of Ice and Fire? No, but it's in the World of Ice and Fire, you know. So you're like, huh. Well, what would they say instead of variety? They would say like, you know, I'd come up with the word that they'd used, but like all
Abundance or
sorts
something,
of,
or
yeah,
yeah.
all kinds of, you know, or all sorts of. They would never use like variety, weird stuff like
Huh.
that.
Preston, that's like what like historians and scholars use to like figure out what is an authentic Shakespeare play or something like that.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
like what
like
is
has he ever used that word before? You know? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You're right that like a World of Ice and Fire, you can tell it's written by somebody else, and like there's parts in it. Like I think the most interesting parts of the World of Ice and Fire are the parts where there's like somebody cutting in, and it's very clearly like something that comes from George. Like I don't know, there's
Yeah.
the
Like the
yeah,
sidebars are definitely the most interesting part, and stuff like that. You know, because it's usually new information as well in the sidebars.
because like the Yee like Jade C stuff just like totally useless, totally useless. George doesn't even follow it himself, you
Well,
know.
yeah, but you know, Elio insisted to with me that like all the stuff is George. That he did not make up
Really?
anything with regards to ET. He said that the only thing he made up was a few things with regards to like lice and maybe another one of the free cities, a few of the free cities. But he said he didn't
Oh,
do anything with ET and all that. But he
okay.
agreed that he thought it was utterly unimportant.
Yes, that's the thing. It has very little effort put into it. Like
Yeah,
E.T.
he was
is
just
like
like, I
very
don't think
uninteresting.
it's relevant to the story at all. You know, I think he just thinks it's color. It's like,
Yeah.
So I'm glad you bring that up because before I've asked you, like, do you believe him? And you said, I don't know if I do. After that interview we did, and he said this, now do you believe him? Because he's
yeah, yeah,
agreeing with you
yeah,
that it's
yeah,
utterly
yeah. I
unimportant.
do, I do. Yeah,
And I listened to the interview he did last year, and he even told the host at the time that but when he first met George had all of this idea for the Blackfire stuff and for Targaryen civil wars and Targaryen kings and whatnot, and he just gave them all to Elio for Elio to use in his roleplay game.
yeah,
So, I mean, I believe him.
yeah. That's the real history of things. Is that Elio was trying to start a role playing game, um, based on based on A Song of Ice and Fire, and it eventually became um, like his involvement. Like the publishers had come to George and said like, oh, we want to do like a dictionary or like a coffee table book with like lore and stuff, and Elio had come to him about this like role playing game, and George is like, yeah, I'm not going to do this, but do you want to do it? You know, with regards to that, so which is
It's
how
interesting how George will give so much backstory on someone like Alyssa Farman and that random sex worker in the middle of Fire and Blood, and then other stuff he just does not give a fuck about, like the astrology stuff. Like he just doesn't care about it. So it's so random, like what the stuff that George really cares about versus just stuff that he couldn't give a fuck about. Which I would say is kind of some of the sci-fi aspects he kind of doesn't care about because astrology falls into that. So
Mhm.
kind of.
Yeah, yeah. I've done a Canva presentation on all ale art. YouTube doesn't allow me to put a link, but enter the site and look for the presentation, the Song of Ice and Fire Lords and their retinues, or Wildling and Black Brothers.
So this guy is trying to get you to click this link, and I'm going to advise you not
Yeah.
to click this fucking link because yeah, you don't want to be clicking links. Otherwise, all of a sudden your channel starts trying to sell us crypto
I
as per
got you.
usual.
Oh boy.
By the way, feel free to ignore his next few super chats because he starts throwing a tantrum. I'm like trying to explain to him like, no, we're not clicking links. YouTube disables them for a reason. Don't post links in here, and he just starts throwing a tantrum.
Oh.
Yeah. It's fine. Well, you know, he's
Oh my gosh. I just like had a moment here when you were talking. I was like trying to figure out what the World of Ice and Fire, like how you find out like the words are words totally alien to George's other work. It's like how
Yeah.
people figure out that like the stoning of the adulteress is not in like the original Gospels. Like there's words in it that are totally unique to
Right.
it that shouldn't be there.
Yes.
That it's an insertion made by a different author. I was like, yeah, what have I heard this before? Yeah, it's so funny. You can do that with George R. Martin's work.
Yeah, but it's also funny when they get it like perfect. Like there are definitely some things where I'm like, this seems like it's inserted, and people will be like, no, but it's in perfect like Tacitian Latin. They got it right, and you're like, but it's only like one line. How hard is it to get like one line correct? You know, like
Yeah.
I watched Ivanhoe 1952. Shit, he's Mance Raider. Oh, Ivanhoe.
See, I need to watch Ivanhoe, 1950.
I mean,
Something,
Ivanhoe. I
1952?
mean, what he's saying is like Ivanhoe, like in the story, Ivanhoe like disappears and then comes back as like the as and like wins this tourney as a mystery knight, and you know it's in the same vein as like Robin Hood. In fact, Robin Hood is a character in like the Ivanhoe universe, and so
Mm.
like he's so it is true that it's like Mance Raider where he like disappears among and pretends to be a commoner for many years and hides his lordly status to protect himself. What's weird about it is that it's not exactly very historically accurate. So in the story, Ivanhoe is a Saxon, and the Normans have like taken over, and there's this huge like division between the Normans and the Saxons, which apparently like was not actually a fucking thing. Like this was not like, there wasn't this time where everyone's like, fuck the Saxons, and the Saxons were like, fuck the Normans. Like it just like it just was not like that. People just did not give a shit. In or at least certainly not at like when it was taking place and things like that. But this is the plot. Like, and so Ivanhoe is a Saxon, and he's the king is a Norman, and so I don't know. He's like in kind of keeping a low pro because he's a Saxon. Anyway.
Wait, I'm like looking at like when the like Norman invasion is let's see 1066.
Yeah.
And this is in Ivanhoe is set 1194. Like the Normans should be pretty settled in by that point and intermixed with like the rest of like England. Like it's kind of funny.
Right. There was also, this idea that like even then like the Norman royal family is around, but like all the rest of the people are kind of all mixed up at this point because it wasn't because keep in mind there's other invasions like the Angles and the idea that somehow there'd just be these two groups like the Normans and the Saxons like angry at each other. Can you ask Carmine about Patchface?
Preston, do you know who this guy is? The guy super chatting? You've spoken to him several times.
Yeah.
Right. You've spoken to him several times on my Discord server. And also, he was a guest on my stream where he tried to explain to you that his theory that Stannis is gay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is the sequel to Stannis is gay. That Patchface is actually Stannis's father's lover. So the idea...
This guy's got gay on the mind.
So the idea is that,
I don't know if he's that. He's just, I don't know. He just kind of thinks it's funny.
So the idea is that like he has never heard of the ocean magically washing someone's clothes off. So when Patchface watches ashore, he is naked, as his name said. And I'm wondering if it's possible if Patchface was naked before the ship went down, as in he was having an illicit relationship with Stannis' father and mother, or just the father or the mother.
Oh, it's like, so there's the Senate live skit, one of the Christmases where like it's like the Who parents like wake up in the morning on Christmas and like they like out comes the Grinch and like the kids are like, why is the Grinch here? And it's like to spice up their love life, they fucked the Grinch after like the big Christmas feast and had a three-way with him. And like you're saying that they're fucking patch face. Like the like Stannis' parents are like having a three-way fuck fest with patch face.
What's the theory again? He explained it to you, but I forgot. What, like, the reason Davos's fingers are chopped off is because
Because he's
what
giving
are-
hand jobs to Stannis.
That's why Davos doesn't think about his wife that much. He doesn't like her.
That's right. All right. But Gail, I will check out the link and don't worry, I'll figure it out. But I know Carmine's worried that I'm gonna get a bunch of
Look, man. If you get your shit taken, I warned you.
Damon the Hero. Oh my God! If only. That's a video I'd started a long time ago, and now if I redo it again, I'm gonna have to start from scratch. Now that there's just so much more, also images and video, but of that. So I should get back to it. I mean, maybe when Dunk and Egg is over and we're gearing up to House of the Dragon, but fuck. I know. It's like reminding me of my unfinished projects, reminding me of my fucking Avalon. Wait, did you start? Didn't you start? This is funny. Do you think Wins will come out before 2030? Yes. Preston will finish Wins by 2030.
Hey,
It'll be close.
Good.
It'll be close. I don't know if it'll be close to finish if I would finish Wins by 2030. I mean, because like we've been doing it the fanfic for like 4 or 5 years, and we're only about the halfway point. So it's gonna take another.
Have you really been doing it for 4 to 5 years? No way.
I think so. I don't know.
Oh man.
I think so. Time flies, man. Time flies.
Jesus.
Chance that there is no one sending dreams. That they're all just regular dreams full of concerns that they just actually have. Like if they're subconscious the whole time. Dreams we see firsthand anyway. Let me think about that. I mean, I don't see a reason why Aemon would be waking up and talking about the Sphinx if Aleros weren't fucking with his head, you know? And I don't see why Dany would be like thinking about stars whispering to her if it weren't actually fucking Quaithe, you know? Or the werewood is like, would just imagine like Bran like actually was not having any dreams sent to him. It was just his subconscious. And he's just been dreaming the fucking tree for no goddamn reason. And then he gets north and the guy's like, yeah, I was visiting you in dreams. And he's like, huh. You know, like, no. Like Bloodraven is just full of shit. He can't actually send himself. He just heard that that's I mean, Bran's prophetic dreams at Winterfell, with like the
sea coming in,
like the sea coming in and drowning him and stuff like that. Like, could you see that being just a like remarkable coincidence of him having like a dream about the sea for some reason? Huh. That's you could, I'm trying to think, maybe you could make the argument about Dany with her dragon dreams, that they're not being sent, but she hears the stars whispering to her, and then Quaith's mask has stars on it and whispers her to her and stuff like that. So it's just that's a tough one. Bran would be especially difficult, especially when doesn't Jojen get dreams and like they match Bran's and stuff like that? And what are the chances that Bran and Jon would be having similar dreams about the crypts? That's just a lot. That's a lot that they'd be both having that. Oh man. All right, I'm way behind here. Oh, the radio tower is why they don't have cell phones. You're right. They
Pluribus?
don't.
Pluribus.
Oh, is that Pluribus?
Yeah.
I thought they had cell phones in Pluribus, right? They had cell phones in the first episode, right?
Well, no, the after the incident. After the incident, she then uses her landline to like call them.
Oh, you're right. I did notice that. So there's no more cell phones in Pluribus after the incident.
Wait, Trey, you're actually keeping up with
use a
it?
cell phone?
No,
No,
she's
she
keeping up
definitely
with
uses
it,
a
like,
cell phone when she
fake.
goes to the hospital. She definitely uses, right? When
She's been using like a landline phone for a while, I feel like.
at her house, but I want to say like when she wakes up at the hospital and finds that no one's there, doesn't she call them?
I think
Let
so.
me see. Cell
I'd have to go
phones in
back.
Pluribus.
Oh my god. Huh. Like I thought maybe at the hospital, but maybe I'm not. Maybe she picked up like the phone behind the desk kind of thing.
Dan is telling me they tell us that cell phones are specifically gone. I'm asking him, when the presidents are when the
Oh.
president's on TV. So episode 1? I need to go back and watch it then.
Oh.
Because
It's a
I've seen her
guest
use the
phone.
landline phones, but
She
you're
does. She
right, cell
definitely uses her
phones.
little landline phone. Very 90s. You know.
Oh.
So when the, Dan's telling me when the president's on TV talking to Carol, I guess he tells us that cell phones are gone. Huh. I gotta go back and watch that.
Yeah. And then it's the radio that they're talking about, the giant radio that they're building to beam stuff into space.
And Trey, you're getting back on this? Are you caught up?
Yeah,
or
I've
what's
been
going
getting
on?
back on it. I've been following it, like what's been happening. So I know
Is
that
it still bumming you out because Carol's an asshole?
No, she's got better. She's got a little bit better as the. It's just a late. It's a late. She gets better. Like
Please
instead
tell me you
of-
watched the latest episode.
That's where she makes out with Joja.
Yes,
Right?
good shit.
Yeah,
Good shit.
yeah.
Preston, tell him why that's a bad thing.
Why
Well,
is it a bad
because
thing?
Joja is like she may have not been a lesbian before joining, and she may not be game, but her body is being used to
Oh yeah.
to being puppeted. Because I mean, in the episode, she specifically starts asking like, what were Joja's favorite foods, and like she specifically starts asking. I think we're probably supposed to start thinking about this because I thought of it and Carmine said he simultaneously thought of it because she starts asking Joja about her preferences and and specifically ice cream, right? Or something. And if you're talking about like
What's your favorite food? And she says she likes mango ice cream.
right. So it's like when you're talking about like food preferences, something that's so like innate, that you didn't yeah, I'm sure there's some food preferences that like are culturally and influenced, like, oh, I used to eat this with my grandpa and whatever summer or whatever, and it affects you. But like sometimes you're just born with like food preferences. You know, like I just do not like this food. You know, I don't like broccoli. I mean, I like broccoli fine, but like some people just don't like broccoli. So I think it's like you're supposed to be thinking about sexual orientation at the same time.
Right, but allow me to be gross for a minute here, because on one hand, you're right. What if that wasn't her? What if women wasn't her preference before? But on the other hand, Joja has the knowledge of all of the best pussy eaters on the planet, bro. I like.
Oh, sure. I mean, also
Mm,
like in the grand
mm.
scheme of things, if we're talking about the trauma that Joja is going under, I mean, she's also being forcefully made a cannibal, and lots of other fucking horrible things. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, maybe it's down the list of the trauma. Like, I'm just, but you know, it's just
But also, though, she's got the knowledge of every professional sex worker on the planet. Come on, Preston, stop it with the moral dilemmas. Stop it.
Carol is like the Mauritanian guy. Like she's
yeah. No,
not
I
as
think we're
much
supposed to
different
make
than
that
him.
connection. That
Yeah, yeah.
the Mauritanian, she looked at the Mauritanian as disgusting, and yet she has become the Mauritanian. I think we're supposed to think about. We're supposed to think.
Yeah.
That.
To be fair to Carol, though, Mauritanian guy jumps into this immediately. She resists until she's just so alone and starved for human attention,
Yes.
for a human connection. All in time for Manusus to come in the next episode and judge the shit out of her.
she's somewhat I would say she's somewhat seduced by the
Dark side of the Force.
the Joja. But I mean Joja's body being puppeted. I mean Joja is all of a sudden quite charming and making all sorts of jokes, right? So
To be fair, man, Joja did take her on possibly one of the best dates ever. Like, rebuilt her fucking favorite diner. My God.
you've never done that?
Mm.
But then she was like talking about like what the waitress had been. Like she had moved to like Florida and like it was really weird that she was taken away from her life just so that she could serve at this diner. And it's like, yeah, that's bad, but not as good as being taken away from your life to be forced into a sex puppet. So Joja has it worse. I think we're supposed to be asking these questions, and they're going to come back later. If they don't, I'm going to be disappointed.
Again, all in time for Manusus to come in next episode and judge the hell out of her and be very upset with her.
It's the last episode of the season, right? Next episode?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll see
Oh,
if the
boy.
Mauritanian comes back.
Oh, boy.
Jesus Christ. I wonder how long season 2 is going to be. Holy fuck.
Has Elio read the Winds of Winter sample chapters? We didn't ask that question. I'm assuming the answer is yes, though. I did not. I did not specifically ask that because there was the big thing about Elio not wanting to be spoiled, but I think he's probably read them. Yeah.
That's crazy that he doesn't want to be spoiled. You're in a position like that. I don't understand it.
Really? Like, because he's a fan of the series, though. He doesn't want George to tell him like the secrets in a conversation over burritos.
It's been 13 years. It's been, what is it?
Well, let me ask you this
then. It's been 14 years? How long has it been?
I'll throw this to both you and Preston. Would you rather have Wins and read it, or would you rather, possibility of it ever coming out, or would you rather go to a dinner with George where you guys are eating fish and chips and he tells you all the major plot points?
I'd rather read it.
Right, but what if it never comes out?
Oh, if it never comes out, then
like the possibility of it never coming out is out there. Like, who knows? 50-50.
Well, the thing is like Elio is still deluded like you, Carmine. And
hey, listen.
Like,
hey, look.
I don't know how at this point you could believe that it's coming out. Like okay, all right. If you're even Cope, Wins is coming out.
Elio is
you're
with
like, okay,
me,
Wins
by
is
the
coming
way,
out.
Trey.
Dream is not. You know, like what are you talking about?
Trey, Elio is with me on this. He believes Wins will come out. Dream, on the other hand, I should have asked him about that.
Yeah, I think Elio still thinks
there's just not enough time.
Yeah, there's just not enough time.
That's crazy.
Bookborn did a tier list of most of George R. R. Martin's stories. Loves Windhaven and Wild Cards. Glassflower was meh. hated Meat House Man, collab when.
Did she take these positions to spite us?
As a matter of fact, I know it's almost like she went out of her way to spite us. As a matter of fact, I contacted Bookborn, and yes, we're going to do a collaboration. But both of us are very busy through the month of January. I don't know if you guys heard about something. There's this show that might be coming out in January. So after Night of the Seven Kingdoms is over and we have more time, we're going to collab. And I've invited Trey along because Trey has also read every single thing that George has ever written. But yes, it is quite shocking that my fucking favorite story of George, The Glass Flower, is only meh. And I fucking love Meat House Man. Meat House Man is in my top 5.
You're gonna get on a Mormon's case for not liking Meat House Man?
What did she have to say about Song for Leia?
I think she liked it. I think it was up near the top.
Okay,
I think
yeah.
No, I mean I think there's probably different reasons for it. I mean I think Meat House Man, for example, Trey and I were talking about this, that Meat House Man is a really dark tale about the sick, disgusting thoughts that men have after a breakup, the dark self-loathing thoughts that they have. And I don't know if it connects with I don't know how well it connects with women, though I've met women who love Meat House Man, who Meat House Man is their favorite story. So I don't know. Like I literally have met like fans
who are these
that
women?
are like, Meat House Man is my favorite George R. R. Martin story. Who are women.
Really though? Who are
Yeah.
these women?
I
Show me. Point them out.
met them.
Name them all.
One told George this. She's like, I
Oh,
love your
really?
work. And he's like, what's your favorite thing besides Ice and Fire? And she says, Meat House Man. And he says, wow, you're fucked up. That's what George said.
That's true. Well, again,
But it's so George to be like, wow, you're fucked up. Like that's so George.
to be fair to Bookborn, like she's, look, I forgot who told me this, but the reason why Bookborn was so fucking blown away by Ice and Fire is because, like, her religion and being a huge Sanderson fan, reading Sanderson and being like, oh, this is cool. I like this. And then going to George, someone so real and raw, and you're like, whoa. The best way to describe it is like you've had McDonald's burgers and then you go to a fucking Kobe beef steak and you're like, oh, whoa.
It's interesting,
No
like
offense,
a religious
Sanderson.
person. I'm interested to hear a religious person's perspective on George's work, because so much of it is like devoted to anti-religion. Like
There's a little bit having seen her videos on this. She's like, there's more of a question of whether or not the gods are real. That's an open question in her mind. Like, are the gods real, and what effect do they have? While like coming from George's other works, I'd be like, he's such a fucking atheist that like I don't think any of the gods are real, but I think that like those things like come up. Obviously if you're a believer, you're going to believe that it's possible in the story that there is a higher power, because you believe in the possibility in this world. It's just that like being an atheist and reading George's previous atheist work and knowing that George is an atheist, like it's just like at that point being like, no, there's no gods. Like, of course there's no gods. Like, but it's just like where you're coming from. But yeah, so that's it's very. I love it though. It's very interesting to see different perspectives on things. But it'll be fascinating to talk to.
Like what's her perspective on like the Steel Angels or the Liar cult or something like that? Like, I'm like, what?
Write down those questions. yeah. But Bookborn's no zealot. I mean, like,
no, I'm not. I didn't mean that. But it's just George is just like so strong, right? Like in some areas, he's just so strong about his feelings on religion.
I mean, you're right that the weirdest thing about George's writing is that religion is usually so negative in all of his stories.
Mm.
And I would say that Ice and Fire's early portrayal of the Faith of the Seven is probably his most innocuous that he writes religion, like the most like
Yeah.
nice that he's like ever been. And then he stops being nice when he gets to A Feast for Crows about the Faith of the Seven, right? Like he usually
Yeah.
writes religion like it's fucking R'hllor. Like that is the Steel Angels, you know,
Yes,
like that.
yeah.
That is the religion of tough voyaging, where they just want to fucking populate. And like it's all this. It's extremism. It's always extremism. Even the Way of Cross and Dragon, like you know, there's the darkness and the extremism of what they're doing there. Even though it's all fake, right? The liars and everything, but everything is to this like to that degree. Or the A Song for Leah is a story. Oh my god, A Song for Leah is so interesting. To talk about that with because oh my god, Song for Leah, like that's gonna be a great question to ask, considering like that story is a very very interesting criticism of religion, saying that like yeah, okay, it's a collective of happiness, and yet I won't have my individuality, and I'd rather have like pain and loneliness and individuality than pleasure and happiness and collectiveness, you know, which is a weird contradiction, right? Like
I would rather reject heaven. Like I would rather reject a heavenly afterlife. Yeah, yeah. I'd be interested. I'm interested to hear what she'd have to, if she even interpreted that same stuff as us from that.
Yeah, so it'll be a fascinating thing. But you know, I mean, but also Carmen Bookborn's a huge reader. She's read writers that are as good as
I'm not getting on. Listen. I'm not getting on her case.
She's a huge.
No, I don't.
She's a huge book.
I'm sure she's very nice, but you have to understand. I fucking hate Mormons, bro. I fucking hate these Mormon motherfuckers. Someone asked the question, why you didn't invite why did you invite me to it? I haven't read all of George's stuff. I'm almost done with Fever Dream. I've only read a few. I've only read a few based on Preston's recommendations. House of the Worm, Meat House Man, and I'm getting through Fever Dream right now. So, yeah. I guess when I go through them all, we can do this list with me, but it's up to you boys.
Carmine reading Fever Dream. Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah. Preston recommended all of it. Preston recommended it, so.
Nice.
By the way, out of all the shows they could have done with George's works, why hasn't HBO done Fever Dream yet? Like this seems like
it's crazy.
Done.
It's crazy. It would be so
Apple
easy.
Plus could do it. Like
the only true impact we can have in life is in the memories we leave behind in the minds of others. Make a place for your loved ones to live and give their lives meaning through remembrance. Rest in peace. Yeah, I mean, it's funny with like losing people, and you know, you want the remembering of people to be like to be thinking about them, but like in times of death, it's you actually become very selfish and very like inward looking, and you start thinking about like your own life and their place in your life and their meaning, their, you know. I think there's a Star Trek episode about this where like Data is like, when Tasha Yar dies, he's like, I don't understand. I find my routines thinking about myself, and Picard's like, you understand death perfectly. You know, like it's so it's I definitely think about like today all day, thinking about PJ's like impact on my life. And you know, he was an important guy. He was an important guy, and it's yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad, and you know, he leaves behind a couple kids too. So, anyway, thank you, KL, thank you. Oh, top 3 to 5 fast food restaurant chains. Open question for all.
Oh.
Um, the thing is I am gluten free and dairy free. So like what I think is delicious
Lame.
might not actually be what other people are like think. So um if I were to say like what's fucking delicious, like do I not think that a fucking Chick-fil-A sandwich is goddamn delicious? Of course I fucking do. But I can't eat that. And I'm supporting fucking Chick-fil-A. So there's like these things. Do I admit that it's like the fucking incredible fucking sandwich? Yeah. Fucking Chick-fil-A is delicious, but so it's like, how do you judge all that? But what do I go to Chipotle? Like when I'm in America, I go to Chipotle a lot, and I would go to.
Chipotle's
By the
good.
way, this guy Agro who asked this question, he goes, he caught you completely. He goes, so Chipotle, yeah. Preston loves Chipotle.
I
That's
love
his-
Chipotle.
is that-
Don't like it
is
because
that your favorite?
I'm always making analogies, and I'm always like fucking bringing up.
You bring up Chipotle a lot, yeah.
Oh yeah, because people are like, oh, like fucking free trade agreements. I'm like, you don't want your fucking guac. You don't want fucking guac at Chipotle, because guess where the fuck it comes from? Those avocados come from Mexico, motherfucker.
Here's some Preston lore for the audience and Trey. Every now and then, because if something happens, I'll call him up. And usually when he's out at lunch, 9 times out of 10, motherfucker's at a Chipotle. I swear to God. If he's not at the grocery store shopping for food, he's at Chipotle. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Now I will. So there's some other good ones though. Okay. Do they have to be American? But this place this was fucking Sushiro is fucking incredible, man. Fucking
Where's
love.
that? Is that what country is that in?
It's originally a Japanese chain. I know that they had them in Taiwan, and I would go, and it was so cheap and so fucking good, and it's it was so good. They have a few. I'm sure there's some in California or something, but I'm sure. But there's they have one in Mexico City. I went to like Kura Sushi. They have Kura Sushi in the DC area now, and it's fucking great, but it's expensive. But it was so fucking cheap. Oh my god, it's so fucking good. Oh. Don't get me wrong. Also, I think Yoshinoya is fucking delicious. I fucking love Yoshinoya. But man, some good ones.
Trey, please say Cracker Barrel and piss him off, please.
Cracker Barrel? No, I don't like Cracker Barrel.
I'm
in the South, so there's Cracker Barrels everywhere. I like Subway. I like a Subway sandwich, a simple Subway sandwich.
Did you like Quiznos when they were around?
I did like Quiznos. Yeah, I did.
I was about to say he might be too young for that. You remember Quiznos? Holy shit!
I remember Quiznos. Yeah.
Huh.
We would get it after soccer practice or something when I was younger.
I used to love Quiznos.
Yeah.
Quiznos were good.
Yo, you ever been to Cane's? Is there Cane's over there in Atlanta?
Yeah. Cane's is I
Dude.
think a Georgia thing. Is Raising Cane's a Georgia thing?
Oh,
Raising
Cane's so
Cane's.
fucking good. I love Cane's.
You know what I really like? I actually really
Carmine.
like Corner. I really like Corner Bakery. I like Taylor's for sandwiches.
Are these franchises or like a mom and pop mortar store?
No. They're franchises now. I mean, there's a bunch of them. I mean, the thing is like what is making it to different places, but like Corner Bakery. Oh, you know what? I love me some Nando's Peri Peri too, man.
Oh, Cookout. I forgot Cookout. Cookout's a very southern thing. It's like they make crappy food, but it's all really, really cheap, and the place is open till 3 a.m. So I would just eat so much of it in college. Oh my gosh. Cookout fast food joint.
I used to eat at this place called Tom Yum District, which was kind of like a Chipotle for Asian food. It was also pretty good. They had a
Trey, have you heard of any of this?
For a while? There was like an Indian Chipotle. There was like a Thai. There was a bunch of them. It was good.
Homie, I like Chipotle as much as you do, but they have a monopoly. We need another food company to come in and take over because their prices are atrocious.
You guys not have Moe's? Do you have Moe's?
There's Moe's around. California
Like, poor
tortilla.
man's.
I'm trying to think of the other burrito competition. California tortilla, Moe's, and Qdoba.
Qdoba. I do like Qdoba too. I really like Qdoba.
Yeah.
Fuck, there is a Moe's
Yeah.
near why is it in Missouri? What the
When
fuck?
I was in Chicago, I
Moe's
used to
in
love
Missouri.
Maravillas. Maravillas was fucking incredible Mexican chain in Chicago.
Ooh.
And you know, I love me some Chicago style pizza from like Giordano's and stuff.
Kava's good. Yeah,
I like
like
Cava.
Kava falafel.
I just wish they'd
bowl.
give me a little more. You know, sometimes
Yes.
I leave Cava and I'm a little hungry, but Cava's delicious. Well, if I go to Nando's, I'm fucking full. You know, I'm like, holy shit, you're giving me this incredible chicken. Oh, fucking love me. Yeah, love that. Also, Pollo Campero, man. Pollo Campero is this
Pollo compare.
Oh, it's from Central America, and it's like in a few cities, and it's like really fucking good chicken. However, it's so greasy that you always have diarrhea after.
This looks like
so
this.
fucking
Oh my God.
so-
This looks like Gus Fring's restaurant. This looks like.
I'm sure it must be based on it or something, man.
Trey, send me a link on Discord. Let me see this.
This is Pollo Comparo. I have to send you a Google link.
Pollo Campero is incredible.
The logo looks like Los Pollos Hermanos.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
shoot, I
so
gotta get
someone
a
in
picture.
the-
I'm dairy free now, but I fucking loved like buffalo chicken. Like any place I could get some fucking buffalo chicken, I would love buffalo chicken sandwich or something. I love that shit. I haven't had buffalo chicken sandwich in years. Fucking
Someone is
love it.
asking Denny's or IHOP. I've had Denny's and IHOP. IHOP is superior. Denny's,
IHOP
at
is
least the one near
superior.
me.
IHOP is
IHOP
definitely
blows.
superior. Yeah. Do you think there'll be a John and Danny love story? I do think that this was fundamentally a plan of George, at least in his second tier of his evolution of the story. So, like originally, if you read the original outline, there's a John, Tyrion, Arya love triangle, and in the show you can see kind of an element of a John, Tyrion, Danny love triangle. Where Tyrion kind of admits at the end that he was like in love with Dany and stuff like that, and was like jealous of Jon for, and so I think as the story went and he realized that he couldn't get Tyrion north of the wall, he moved Tyrion from the Arya Jon situation to Dany. And so I think once like the Jon Arya romance is like off, he's like, well, let's do Jon Dany. So I think that was definitely something that from the kind of the beginning, that I mean, not that right in the beginning. I think in the beginning he wanted a triangle, and then I think the Arya romance has been replaced with a Dany. I mean, and Ygritte. I mean, they're both kind of in there, but like what Jon.
I think there's even seeds of it too that like Barristan, like I don't know. I was rereading like Dance and like Dany asks about like Ned Stark, and Barristan goes out of his way to like redeem the Starks in Dany's eyes.
Yeah.
So like it's like there's gonna be something later about like like your father actually was an honorable guy, and there'll be some dialogue for them to.
Yeah.
So it's not they don't hate each other.
I guess my JJ is open for business, you know, or whatever.
Oh my God. I'm so happy George did not do the Arya Jon. Like that's like one of those things where it's like thank goodness he just avoided that. Like, oh my gosh.
The World of Ice and Fire the world has known ice through the others and fire through Valyria. Oh yeah. That's definitely Yeah. I mean, I guess that all makes sense. And even if you're saying like the magic, that ice makes more sense as being the others than it does being the Starks or the Children of the Forest as like, but it's kind of just the entire theater. But yeah. Best intro story to Jack Vance for a George R. Martin fan. Well, first of all, before you read any Jack Vance, and if you're really interested in you might as well read the George R. R. Martin story that he wrote in the Jack Vance universe. Like George actually fucking did that. There was a Jack Vance like honor book where he wrote a story called A Night at the Tarn House. And A Night at the Tarn House, it's a pretty good little story.
Yeah.
And it is available for free at Clark's World magazine.
It's a cute little story. Well, maybe it's not cute.
Yeah, it's a cute little story.
Yeah.
It gets a lot of like George's descriptions. It's got a fucking Arya Asha character. There's subversion of expectation in the story.
Makoro.
Yeah, there's definitely Makoro. And like but yeah, he this is probably like 2013, one of the last things he ever wrote.
Oh God.
Right?
Don't phrase it like that. That's kind of sad. Yeah, 2013 is pretty late. Besides, like if you want to say, "Ooh, the Fire and Blood," yeah, this is the
right.
last,
Fire and Blood, right? Yeah, but I'm like, when did the Mystery Night? Mystery Night came out just before.
Maybe the same year. Maybe just before.
Mystery Night was 2010, so like that came out before A Dance with Dragons. This came out shortly after. This is
Wow.
Night at the Tarn House might be the last story, the most recent story George has published.
That's crazy.
I don't think he's done any wild card stories, but it's a cute little story. It's not bad. I like it.
It's short. It's got like cool world building because it's a very different world than anything George R. R. Martin would make. And yeah, it has his like, I don't know, George writes his best when he's writing weirdos, like really weird, like goofy character, not goofy, but like pathetic kind of characters. Yeah. He does his best.
Sorry if this was covered, but could Hate and Desire and A Song of Ice and Fire be viewed as wars of extermination, genocide versus wars of conquest, colonialism? Yeah, I mean, I think it's I mean, I thought he was just thinking about like jealousy and like love and things like that, love and hate. And that, these relationships and stuff like that will get to people. Like, for example, Tyrion being jealous of Jon, for example, is kind of like a desire kind of thing. But to be viewed as like extermination versus colonialism, I'd never thought of it that way. But I suppose. Hate and desire. Like desire is the colonialism, you want to like own it and be it, while the hate is the others. I mean, that's an interesting parallel that you've made. Yeah, I suppose that works. Those are the two types of wars that we're kind of seeing, right? The idea, the one of wanting to conquer and own something, and the other of just like fucking wanting to fucking wipe it out. It's interesting.
What?
What's that?
No, is that an actual quote?
Preston, what is your opinion of what George meant when he said the only thing worth writing about is the human heart in conflict with incest? I think he's making a good old joke there.
Oh. You never know with George. Honestly, you never fucking know with him. So I don't.
With itself is the original quote. The human heart.
Yeah, by Faulkner, right?
Yes, that's hilarious though.
That got me.
Oh my. Okay.
Look, as you're reaching the end, we've gone on way too long without having this discussion, and I feel like we need to have it now that Trey's here. So, do you mind if I bring this up?
What's that?
Trey, what the fuck is with the hat and the mustache? What are we doing here?
The hat is it was a Christmas gift from my friend today. We did a Christmas exchange. He got me a Greek fisherman's hat because he likes Greece, and it looks like a George R. Martin hat, I guess. Like it looks like the railroad hat that George R. Martin has.
You just need a little put a little turtle on the front and
You should. You really should.
I should put a little turtle on the front. And then yeah, I haven't shaved. My facial hair is just growing out. It's somebody said I look like a European revolutionary or something with the hat.
Yeah.
I
You
just
look
had
like
it
you're
on.
selling baguettes.
Oui. I look like Bob Dylan or something like that.
Like a revolutionary.
Like, yeah, a communist. Hello.
will Lady Smallwood and her family find out about Balon's demise? Could be cool to see in the Sam chapter as a blink and miss moment. Huh. I'm trying to think of well, it's Smallwood's. Oh right, yeah. Lady Smallwood is the.
She's a cousin of a swan, or
Yeah, I think it's because it's she sent off Carolee with or Carolyn with she sent off Carolyn with her cousin who is a swan. I think I forget if Lady Smallwood was a swan herself. I'll have to check on that. Hold on a second. Yeah, no. Lady Smallwood is also a swan. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess if we eventually make it up there, like, I feel like in George's story, I don't know if Lady Smallwood will ever appear again, but like, in the fanfic, we've included Lady Smallwood's cousin and Carolyn, and like, will they care if will they know who Balon Swan is and care? And I mean, sure, they would have heard of Balon Swan, but it comes up in the some of this gets touched on in the Hotah chapter that's going to come out in the new year. When I'm back from vacation, I'll start recording, but it's pretty much done. But when we come back from vacation, I can start recording it.
Hey, when are you coming back from vacay?
Like what you're like, Preston, give us your exact movements. Can you fucking
Bro, you told everyone where you're going anyway.
Carmen's been so like fucking Carmon in this fucking stream, man. Just bashing people right and left. Putting a tracker on me. Make it hard. Oh man. Out of the blue question, Preston, but how fares your Spanish speaking? Seeing you've been to Spain a lot and love Pollo Comparo. My Spanish should be better than it is, considering I live in a Spanish speaking country. I live in the Dominican Republic. So and I'm trying to think of like what has changed since I've been here, like with regards to my Spanish. And it's like, I guess you grow bolder, but I my conjugation and everything is just completely gone. And I'm just like, I have idiot Spanish where I just go around and I communicate everything, but everybody must think I'm an idiot. I mean, certainly I'm very good at like ordering shit now and like having very basic conversations in that sense. Like I know when I go through a register and they're going to ask me like, they always ask about like, do you have a tax like removal like card? Which is something you'd like never learn in a class, but now like I know like, oh no, I don't have that. Yeah. Do you want your receipt? Like this kind of thing. Like You get a lot of that. You know, I'm a lot better with like ordering at restaurants and food and stuff like that. But and asking for gluten-free things and stuff like that. And like, I do, is there any milk in this? I don't eat milk. But
What is that in Spanish? Can you give us a little bit of that?
well, sure. Like, so like gluten is trigar, you know. So you like and like
Of course.
for you're like, of course. What's it in Portuguese?
Fuck off, Preston. How about that? Just, I don't fucking know. I don't think the Brazilians actually believe in gluten free. It's either fucking drink it or fuck off. Like it's just it's. But no, you're not.
Well,
like,
it's like
not
it's
looking-
like gluten. I guess they say like wheat, right? That's what they trigo. See how I fuck everything up? Or you know, I just say something like, oh, por favor, no queso, no puedo comer leche. You know, you just kind of say these things, you know.
no pode comer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No Latino's gonna think you're an asshole for like your Spanish not being amazing. Like they're gonna be like like, oh, this guy's trying to learn. That's good.
Yeah. So it's you try to get by, and then and then you try to understand. The thing is with my Spanish here is that there are days where I'm just like, wow, I speak fucking nothing, and then I hear I have a few friends that are from Mexico here, and then I'll hear them speaking, and I'd be like, I understand like them completely. Oh my god, like. And so it's just Dominican Spanish is really difficult to understand.
It's faster, right?
It's faster. They cut the ends off words. So like
Mm-hmm.
it's not diez, it's just die. Like that's 10.
Mm.
You're like, oh. A lot of different words. Their word for banana is not platano or banana, it's guineo. They have a lot of different like local words that are just different. Stuff like that. And then there's just like preferences on what words they use. Like it's not that habichuela doesn't mean bean in Mexico. It does, but in Mexico you'd say frijoles. And here it's only habichuelas. Like you would never use the word frijoles for beans. And it's not, so like if you were a native speaker, both words, but like most Americans have never been taught the word habichuela because we've been taught frijole, so just stuff like that.
Every Mexican I've ever encountered, they'll always say like, yeah, I understand how Colombians speak it, how Venezuelans speak it, but the Dominicans, man, they just speak way too fast for even me to understand. Like I can understand a little bit of Spanish.
Yeah,
They
it's a lot
speak
of
way
fast.
too quick.
I mean, Venezuelans are known for speaking super fast too.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely some Spanish that's easier than others. Like I think across the board, everyone says like Costa Rican Spanish is like the easiest Spanish to learn because it's just so slow and clear.
Mm.
There's little things you learn.
It has to be for all the Americans moving over, for all the Americans moving over there.
But it's kind of fun. Like you learn these really weird things. So this is a story that's just like, it's kind of boring, but like if you study Spanish, maybe you think it's interesting. So the word for juice in Latin America is jugo. But in Castilian Spanish and Spanish, they use zumo. Two completely different words. So if you're getting orange juice in Spain, it's zumo de naranja. In Mexico, it's going to be jugo de naranja. So I'm living life, doing my thing, and I'm out with my son, and he wants to get a drink from the grocery store, and so I feel like treating him, and he asked me for some juice, and I'm like, okay, and I see this little juice that says zumo de limon, okay, because Dominicans, they love their fucking limeade. They fucking love their lemonade, their limeade. They love it. It's all over. So I buy this. It says zumo de limon, sumo de limon, and I'm just like, you know what? Okay, that's weird that like on this bottle they're using the term from Spain, and so I buy it for him, and he drinks it, and he's like, because it was fucking lemon juice. Like it was like unsweetened, pure like lemon juice, like for cooking. And they like sell it in the same like refrigerator next to the juice. And I'm just like, huh, that's really weird that they use like for lemon juice, they use the Spanish word, and for sweet juice they use the Latin American word. And I'm like, I guess it makes sense because we have the same problem in English that we have to use lemonade and limeade to differentiate between sweet lemon juice and sweet lime juice versus unsweetened. And so we have that specialness just for lemon and lime juice that we don't do for anything else. We have these special words, lemonade and limeade, just for those. And so like they did a similar thing where they're like, well, we have to have some sort of differentiation for lemon juice and lime juice. So we're going to use Thumo instead of Hugo. Like, you know, like there was a linguistic reason. It made sense. But of course, like it didn't make sense to me because I lived in Spain. It's just kind of weird. Anyway.
Have you ever spoken to Chilean?
Yeah.
Or Chilean Spanish?
I mean,
I've heard that it's very different. I heard that it's like Spanish, like Cockney, basically. Like,
oh,
is that true? Yeah.
I mean,
there's like a Mexican guy I know that was like, he was complaining about Breaking Bad and how like Gus's Chilean is not Chilean. Like Chilean's very distinct and weird to a Mexican, apparently.
I mean, not in my experience. I've definitely had evenings where I've talked in Spanish to Chileans, and nothing came out at me. Even in the sense that like I would even say that like Argentinian Spanish is a little more unique because Argentinian Spanish has all the jos, right? Like Playa de Mayo, you know, and stuff like that. You know, like their yas become jaz, and so like Argentinian Spanish like sticks out. But I don't remember anything that really stuck out to me with Chilean Spanish. But it's been a long time. Like when there's certain Spanish you hear, and it's just obvious. Like when you hear Spanish from Spain, it is obvious because you're going to be hearing the Castilian lisp. You're going to be hearing cerveza. And when you hear like Argentinian Spanish, it's very clear because you hear the jos. Like those are the two Spanishes where you're just like, oh yeah, that's obvious. You know, but like the rest of the Spanishes, for the most part, I go like, if I can understand it, it's probably Mexican and like Puerto Rican or like Central American. Yeah. And if I can't, it's somewhere else. You know, like that's kind of just what I go with. I don't know. Like because of a school, like Mexican Spanish just sounds the most clear to me. But it's kind of funny. I don't know. I'm sure some people would be like, well, I guess it would be I said Plaza de Mayo. Plaza de Mayo.
Okay, somebody's saying Chilean colloquial Spanish is barely Spanish. The Chileans you've talked to are making the effort to speak more standard.
That's probably it, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's a funny thing about like, I mean, but this is bringing back to like High Valyrian and like where like High German, you know, like High German is what they teach Germans in school, but it's not really what people speak in their local city. Like they'll have their own little German. Sometimes it's really far, like sometimes it's not comprehensible. And then sometimes it's fairly close, but like I think High German is based on Hanover, and you just you know, they just kind of go with that. But it's, you know, what's considered like High Spanish it's I don't even know what one would choose, because it's not certainly not what one would do. It's not what you'd learn in Spain, you know. like I mean, you're not learning Castilian Spanish in Latin America, but I don't know. Or somebody once told me about the Vosotros. Do you know about Vosotros, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They taught us that. Yeah.
So like second person plural in Spanish is something that you can learn in books, but no one uses in real life.
Mm.
Except they might use it in Castilian Spanish sometimes. But like, if you were to go out there and speak the Vosotros second person um, plural conjugation, like people would be like, "Huh, that's weird. That's from books." But like, like no one talks that way. I do wonder what they get taught as like proper Spanish in school. I don't know. I have no idea. Uh, sometimes there's just a massive difference though between like the official languages you learn in school and like what you speak in the streets. Like Mandarin Chinese or Modern Standard Arabic are so utterly different from the local languages. Um, anyway, if you're rereading by specific plot lines and point of views in order, how would you fit Tyrion, Danny, Barristan, Victarion, Quentin into something coherent? Oh, like you're saying if I just went POVs first and then went back. Um, it's an interesting question. I mean, I think you can. Hmm. For the Myronese not like causing George so much trouble, there's not actually that much crossover. Like when you think about it, like Tyrion appears in the stadium in the Danny chapter, right? And as like the jousting dwarves. Um, and Makoro drops out of Tyrion's boat and ends up in Victarion's, right? And then Quentin
Quentin shows up on the day of her wedding and then just kind of lingers around
yeah,
and does nothing.
right.
Like,
But I'm also thinking like when you kind of hear Victorian kind of like there's some Volantis stuff that happens in order, like
mm.
Quentin's events in Volantis and Tyrion's and Victorians like do. But if I were going on that for that reason, I think if you read Tyrion's plotline first and you went all the way to the end of Tyrion, and then you went Victarion's plotline second, and then Danny's plotline third, and Quentin's plotline fourth. Like then the Makoro thing would happen in the right order. There'd be some flashback, like figuring out, oh, I guess we've got Barristan too, and then Barristan would have to be last.
Mm.
Yeah, because there'd be a little bit of mess up with regards to like flashing back to like Tyrion in the pit, but like in the fighting pits. But I think if you did that, like you went Tyrion first, followed by Victarion, followed by Danny, followed by Quentin, followed by Barristan, it would more or less make sense. So there we got. Yeah. Where could I send you PowerPoint with the art? Is there a mail or something? Sure. You can. I check my Sweet Robin fan fiction email most, but if you know that one, it's on any of the fanfic Sweet Robin's fan fiction project. But I'll be there anyway. Um,
Might be the last one.
and if you order a lemonade in UK, you get a Sprite. That's true.
How do you order lemonade in the UK? What do you say? They not have it? Is it just something that doesn't exist?
That's a good question. Because
Well, Trey, don't you know that lemons don't grow in the UK? Come on, man.
This is true. It's
You
too
learn-
far north.
Haven't you learned anything about watching Preston's videos? There's no lemons in London.
UK. What do they say? You see, okay, to get what Americans call lemonade, you need to ask for cloudy lemonade, still lemonade, or squashed lemonade. Weird.
wow.
Cloudy lemonade.
Jesus Christ!
American
what an awful
imports are
country.
rare. So it's something that they just don't have. It's like an American import if you ask for it. That's weird. It's such a
Lemon.
simple drink, you know? It's such a simple
Right. I
drink,
mean,
and it's fairly
doesn't
American.
everyone like lemons and sugar? I mean, it's not that fucking hard. Huh.
Apparently comes from Egypt. It's originally like an Egyptian thing.
Love Carmine a bunch, but could not even begin to think on hacking the Knight of the Mind himself. True that no Mexican uses vosotros or sumo or thumo, even for fucking lemon juice. I don't know what the but old fashioned lemonade. The there's these funny little linguistic things that I just think are kind of funny. Lemons don't grow in the UK. That's right.
By the way, our friend here, Man Band, he loves Pluribus. Every episode, 10 out of 10, every single time, no matter what.
It's a really good fucking show. It's a really good fucking
I'm
show.
liking it, man, but that fucking pacing is killing me.
I mean, look,
the pacing has a problem, in my
it might
opinion.
it might be the second best. Maybe it's the second best show of the year. But I mean, it's not
Really?
Andor. But
Whoa, look,
No Andor.
I don't know. We got to do a pod where we rank the shows again, because I feel like I've watched shows, but man, Alien Earth for a hot minute was it, and then it just wasn't.
yeah.
Then they
That
just
saddens
decided
me.
not to have an ending. They just decided not to have a conclusion to anything. Not a single thing.
That
Oh,
episode
no.
5, man, was so good. The one where they're on the Maginot, the ship, the
Oh.
little detective thing. So good. My God.
The aliens, the eyeball starts fighting the xenomorph.
Mhm.
Oh, it's some good stuff. Some good stuff.
What was the best show of the year? I swear to God, did we watch anything this year? I feel like we did. Oh, Last of Us was this year, but
25.
It's
We watched a
forgettable.
lot. There was a lot of shows this year.
Severance was this year.
was it?
Severance season 2.
Yeah,
Really?
Severance season 2.
That's definitely down the list. I did not like
Yeah,
Severance.
yeah. No, I didn't either. Let's see what else. Dexter Resurrection. Oh yeah.
Who cares?
Oh, wait, hey, Preston, are we? I started watching it. Are you watching Fallout Season 2?
Wait, it's already out?
Yeah, Fallout Season 2 came out a couple days ago.
The whole thing?
No, God no. I tried getting the screeners for that. They didn't budge. But yeah, no, Fallout Season 2, it's out. You got to get on that.
Okay. All right. here's a quick. We'll do this real quick, and then I gotta head to bed. Okay, the top 50 shows
50
according to the Guardian of this year. Okay, 2025.
Wait, shows Guardian.
Yeah.
Look
Top
this up.
50.
Okay.
Okay, number 50. They put Last of Us. Totally forgot about Last of Us, but you're right. But man, that was
bad.
that was not as good as the first season. Going through. Do not know any of these shows.
Just skip to like the top 10, homie.
Well, I'm glad I hit 50, so I could remember that I watched Last of Us.
It was that bad.
Oh.
It's ranked number 50. It was that bad.
Wait, never mind. You're not gonna want to see number 12. Ooh, that's
All right,
an insult.
Squid Game came out this year, and I did not watch that. But,
What's number 12, Carmine?
Number 12 is kind of insulting. And even though I've been complaining about the pacing, Pluribus is not 12. It should be way like farther up in the sense where it should be like in the top 5.
They
Because
put,
Guardian has
South Park at 32. And The Bear.
Damn.
They only
They
put Andor at 27. Holy shit.
Get the
That is
fuck out of
ridiculous.
here.
That's
Yeah, I don't
crazy.
respect this person's opinion.
I
At
know,
all. Like,
considering they
this
put
person's
Hacks
wrong.
at 20.
What an asshole.
It's just
They
ridiculous.
put Severance at number 9 above Pluribus. Are you kidding me? Get the fuck out of here.
Ridiculous.
Get
This is
outta
not
here.
Severance season 1. Maybe Severance season 1 you could say was very good, but not, season 2. Oh, I haven't seen The Chair Company. A lot of people have good things to say about The Chair Company, but I did not see it. Big Boy, such forever. Okay. Pluribus is at 12. Jesus. The White Lotus. Everybody said the new series wasn't that great. Severance 9. Come on, ridiculous.
Number 10 though. What is this? Louis Theroux, The Settlers? Like, is this supposed to be? What is this?
Who's watching this?
Forgetting Penguin. Was Penguin this year?
No, that was last year.
Alien Earth, they put it number 6. Wow. Blue Lights, The Studio, Celebrity Traders, interesting. Wait, they don't give us number 2 and 1? Or do I have to go to the next thing? God damn it. They won't even tell us what number 2 and 1 are.
Yeah, I don't respect this person at all. Like, fuck them. What a piece of shit.
Yeah, what a piece of shit.
What a piece of shit. Andor 26? Fuck you.
Yeah, that's like a contrarian. That's somebody just trying to be contrarian. I think that's somebody. Yes, more. I would not put my Star Wars in the top 10.
See, the problem with lists like these is that like the person doing the list is always one of those artsy fartsy assholes who wants to try to make a profound statement by
but
putting
do I
a
actually
little
believe that this
show.
person watched
Fuck outta
50
here.
shows? Like, how am I supposed to like? How did you watch 50 shows?
King of the Hill reboot. Where'd they put
yes.
I
that?
did watch the King of the Hill reboot. I thought it was very charming.
It was good.
I quite liked it.
Yeah, it was nice and wholesome.
I mean, it wasn't that wholesome. Like, was it where wasn't there like wasn't the plot about like open relationships and one night stands?
yeah, you know.
Connie gets shut down immediately when she does that. I love it.
Oh, Murderbot came out this year, right? People love that.
I think it was Murderbot. What's that? Oh, that's like the thing with the this guy. Yeah. This came out.
Welcome to Derry, I guess, came out this year. Some people.
Welcome to Derry.
A lot of shows. A lot of people like Task. I think they get good reviews. I didn't watch it. But man, oh man. Okay. Let me bought your book. Thank you, James.
Pretty sure you got them all, homie.
Okay. One more. Would you guys, Preston, Trey, Carmine, do a podcast episode with Quinn or Fantasy Haven? Quinn does have
Jesus
good ideas
Christ.
to talk about House of the Dragon stuff. Well, we'll see. Big, I've got to, first of all, this is how booked our fucking year is. Okay. I got to come back from vacation. We got House of the Dragon. And then we got.
No, we have Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Then we have House of the Dragon.
I'm sorry. We got House of Seven Kings. Then we got Trey and I got to do our Bookborn collab.
Bookborn.
But we shall see. We shall see.
Which Quinn are they referring to? Are they referring to the Quinn that I met?
Probably.
Yes.
At Comic-Con?
The one who did the Asian Sam Tarley cosplay, which I thought was really nice.
What? He was nice. Yeah, he was cool to meet.
Honestly, I'm really more interested in because no offense to this guy and Fantasy Haven, I'm kind of bored with Ice and Fire YouTubers. I think we should really start looking to collab with
Karma is
actual...
just talking like mad shit.
I'm not.
about
I'm not.
everyone today.
I'm
You're
trying to
talking
be real
trash
here. I'm
tonight.
trying to be real here. What I'm trying to say is, I think we should actually start getting people with things to say that we've never heard before, like Nick Fuentes or Candace Owens. We'll see
No,
what we can.
let's.
We'll see what we can do about having. I got you, buddy.
these
We
these
carry the
jokes. I'm not sure if everyone's
flame.
gonna know that you're joking, Carmine.
Dude, that's what really kills me is like you motherfuckers have known me for years at this point. How do you guys not know I'm joking? Come on. I say this to the audience. Come on.
Carmine shared his Spotify Wrapped with me, and number one was "We Are Charlie Kirk."
It's not, man. When Preston sang that the other week, I was like, that's not real. Is it real? I guess it's real. I didn't realize.
We carry the flame.
Do you think the attempt at idolizing like Charlie Kirk converted a single person? Like, do you think there was
No,
some guy out there who was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, Charlie Kirk.
I love how your audio cut out the moment you start talking about this guy. Trey, you heard that, right? It cut out.
I heard it. I
no.
heard it
Right,
too.
it
I didn't
did
want to
turn-
correct.
There it is.
I was hoping it would come back.
I'm
Jack
like, do you
Pacific
think?
Revenge.
Do you think? Do you think it communicate? Do you think it? Do you think it convinced anybody? You know.
I don't think so. There was a lot of pretending for a good week, and then nobody cared. then nobody cared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. All right, guys. I think it further radicalized right wing people. That might be possible, but
Yeah, probably.
yeah. But that's the thing is, but it didn't create any new ones. No one is sitting there. Like it's the same with like this new movement, like the Erica Kirk thing. Like, do you think is any woman like sitting there online being like, you know what? Yeah, I need to become a more traditional woman who's subservient to my husband. Like, yeah, that's
but
really,
that's the funny thing. That's
registering.
that's the
with me.
insane thing. Erica Kirk is not that. If anything, Erica Kirk embodies feminism more than anybody else.
Oh.
She got married to him in her 30s. She's college educated, a businesswoman, and again, according to the red pill right wing space, she had kids in her mid 30s, which at that point, she's already too old. But Charlie didn't seem to care. If anything, Erica Kirk is kind of someone you should look up to, kinda. In a sense.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like these people believe in nothing, so like it's you know they're ideas for thee, not for me. You know.
That's actually not true, Preston. They believe in something. They believe that she partnered up with the Egyptians to kill Charlie.
Mm-hmm,
they believe that. I love
right.
that. That's my favorite.
You know, I mean, you can be you know, like Vance, like go on stage and talk about how like brown people and immigrants need to be out of the country. And it's like, okay, really, dude? You're talking about your kids? Like, what are you talking about?
His poor wife. Jesus Christ, his poor wife. God damn. Oh, that poor woman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cat here the whole time.
All right. Thank you guys for being with me. Thank you for bringing in the cat at the end. Anyway, what a stream! But I guess see you guys in the new year.
Yeah. Have a great vacation.
Yeah. Unless we record a Berserk with the boys before I leave. I don't know how you guys are doing, but
it's up to you, Trey.
I'm good. I think I should be free this coming week.
Did Andrew Tate got beaten up?
Yes. So he fought some random TikToker in a boxing match, and this TikToker fucked him up. And Jake Paul also got into a fight with on a boxing match with a boxing champion. He also got fucked up, Jake Paul.
Broke his
So
jaw. It's all
yep,
swollen, right?
Jake Paul and Andrew Tate both on the same day or weekend got fucked up. The world is healing, Preston. Slowly but surely, it's healing.
It's got a long way to go, man. Got a long way to go.
And as always, I have faith. I have faith we'll get wins and the world will heal.
Will
Some
it?
cope right there.
Will it?
Some cope right there.
Maybe. I'm sniffing a copium.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you, and I guess we'll try to get a Berserk with the boys this week. All right, guys. Thanks for everything. We'll see you guys later.